And greetings, everybody. Hello, welcome back to the Soul Citizens. I'm GriffinGamingRPG, and welcome back. And we are so happy to have you join us today. Shipwreck, we saw you. You were the first person there, putting up all those beautiful faces of those Soul Citizen hosts. We truly appreciate you. That shows that you were one of our big subscribers. If you got all those, you were a big subscriber. So thank you for your subscriptions. So first, let me introduce the man himself, Kimmy65. He's over there doing some tweaking, but I'm sure he can stop to say hi to everybody. What's up, buddy?
Oh, definitely. 07, everyone. Welcome to the show. Shipwreck 07 to you. Gigi, how are you doing this evening? Fastcart, Griffin Gaming. How y'all doing, man?
Another week. How's Kimmy sounding, y'all? Is he sounding okay? Let us know in chat. And I will go to the second man himself. Kimmy is good. That's awesome. If Kimmy's good, that means Fastcart should be good. Fastcart, what's up, brother?
I'm never good. What are you talking about? Me good? Hi everyone, I'm Fastcart, also known as FC. Hi Gigi. Hi Shipwreck.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that was kind of backward, wasn't it, Kimmy?
That was a little twisted.
Didn't that sound,
I didn't want to say anything different. That was a little twisted, wasn't it?
That sounded a little in reverse.
What's going on today?
Yeah. I mean, see, we're on the same page. See, me and Kimmy caught that. That's going to be a definite highlight. That's going to be a highlight for next week.
I hesitated. It was on my face,
dude.
Now. I'm like, what was going on with that trip? That time he had off, man.
Hey, it's already a minute in, and I'm caught in trouble.
Yeah,
polarity. It's all about polarity, man.
I guess he's happy to see everybody. I guess. Okay. Well, anyway, it's the three old guys today. We're the OGs, right? But I told them the three old guys today. But we wanted to say hi to everybody. Thank you guys so much. Blackwater Goat, BWG, what is up? What is up? Good to see you. We want to, boy, this is going to be an interesting show today. You know, last week we did a kind of a tech show because, as you guys know, CIG has been on break. And so last week we did a show on doing upgrades or building a computer, particularly that could handle Star Citizen. It didn't mean that that was the only thing that the computer could be used for, obviously, but it was the thing that we could say, hey, here's some recommendations from us. And some of you all were really nice to put in what your setups and what your rigs ran on and how well they ran. And maybe some of you guys got some ideas. This week is kind of like a part 2 to that. This name of this show is called Enhanced Gaming. And what we mean by that is that what are those things that can enhance your gameplay in Star Citizen? They're not necessary. Let me emphasize that. We're not saying these are things that you have to buy. They're just things that we feel as gamers will benefit you when playing Star Citizen. And of course, most of this stuff is stuff you can use on other games as well. But each one of us has a different setup. Kimmy's setup is different than mine. Mine is different from Fastcart's. And I'm sure you guys will have a different setup as well. And then you guys can, again, feel free to share in chat what you guys are using. But before we jump into that, let's do a little bit of quick coverage for what's been going on with recently. As you guys know, yesterday was the Daymar rally. Did either you guys get to either see it, participate in it, or check out anything of it yet? Not yet. Okay.
I was gonna wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Kimmy, what about you? Did you get to look at anything yet from the Daymar?
I intended, but for some reason I didn't get enough advertisement. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I wanted to see it.
Okay.
But it was not enough information put out.
Keep you reminded about it. Yeah. And you guys will mention, I'm throwing this at you guys because all three of us were at the 2018 CitizenCon, and they were there that year. That was like their first year. They had a booth. Remember that they had a booth. There were like 5 groups that had a booth, and they were one of the 5. And they were just getting started at that time. But I remember stopping and talking to the organizers of that, and I remember they had a brochure, like a booklet that they had printed out. They had them in limited numbers, though. They only gave them out to people who were really serious, or really, like, if your org was really considering participating, because obviously it was at the very beginning, and they may have had, like, I don't know, anywhere from 50 to 100 of those things.
I mean, I think they started in 2016, but 2018 was when they got, they
full swing.
I mean, each year they've been putting more effort into it, but they were putting a lot of effort into it because of CitizenCon.
Exactly.
But to what you were saying, Fastcart, that was the first time that CIG was also incorporating or giving out permission to, or allowing the community to bring in their booths. That was the first year they started doing that. So it was, for them, it was like, it was a great opportunity.
It was, and it was.
I think Tess did it. They were another participant at that booth.
And Sigillian,
Sigillian had his disc. Yeah, exactly. Yep. ADI was another group, and I forget who the fifth one was. Yeah, we were gonna say, Kimmy.
You know what? Real quick, true story. I walked up to his booth, man, and you guys are gonna laugh at me. At Sigillian, it was so well done, and I'm looking, and I'm like, holy crap. CIG is investing in oil. We were in Texas, right? And I was like, they're investing in oil. I said, oh man, the project is in well hands. We are good. I started talking to him.
Yeah,
Like, oh, wait a minute.
No, to your point, Sigillian, I mean, as you guys know, Sigillian is really into role play. And he came in full steam, man. I mean, he had on his white uniform with the glasses, the shoes. Yeah. He had an assistant with him who was dressed identical. He had pins, notepads, magnets. I mean, he went all out. They were pulling
it off really well too. Yeah. Like I was
cool, man.
Yeah, because I was wondering what it was. I didn't realize he was role play. I really wasn't sure because they had the other role players, the actors that were there. So he could have easily, absolutely, he could have easily been up there doing the same thing. Hey, Admiral, it's good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. And Oglock Penn, thank you as well for being in 07. Yeah, Vengeful, we see you too. We see you. Yes, it was interesting, but that was the first time that I really saw a lot of information, and I got a chance to talk with the organizers, Crucian, and I got to talk with them. And then last year, we know they did it. Last year, if you remember, they got crashed last year. Remember, they had griefers that showed up and kind of put a ruin on the event. And and then this year, they did tighter security this year, but it happened again. I was I got invited to by the folks from Yacht Club to be on their yacht and observe the race from there. And we started, I want to say that we were on about 11 a.m. my time. I want to say, but it took a while. They were about maybe an hour and a half, almost 2 hours before the race started, right? So there was a lot of time just to kind of burn. We were having a good time at Astropub, and some other folks were on this ship, Joe Run and some others. And we finally got out there to where the race was, and they said it's going to start in 10 minutes. We got 2 minutes away from the race starting, and Shausen, who was piloting our ship, got kicked out of the server, and he was in the pilot seat of the 890. So we were waiting on him to pop back in because he was still in the seat. When he popped back in, it did something. We've never seen this before. It did something to the controls on the ship, and the ship launched from the ground upward and went into a spin. And it was one of those, and of course there's no atmosphere, so it went into one of those spins where it continues to spin faster and faster. So we're in there screaming, then we started redding out, then we all fell out on the floor. Astropub finally ran downstairs to the secondary bridge because Shausen's body was still in the main seat and we couldn't get in it. And he finally got control of the ship, and but we were damaged. We had emergency lights flashing, steam and smoke and sparks, and we had a good time. We didn't get to see the race at the beginning, but eventually we got to watch it for about, I think we watched about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And then guess what? Griefers showed up, and they started attacking folks, and they attacked our yacht. And our yacht, because it had been damaged, couldn't sustain the hits from it, and it ended up getting blown up. So. So
the moral of the story is you can't take Griffin anywhere.
Yeah, I know. It was all my fault. It was all my fault. We have, and there were other people, some of our other friends.
The first one.
Did you? Yeah, some of our friends were saying, what is the point? I mean, they're trying to have a community event, and this was actually helped sponsored by CIG. Xylo even popped in. He was going from ship to ship and seeing where people were and stuff, which was very cool. I heard Idris showed up at some point as well. One of the devs flew Idris in for the event. So it's funny that this is kind of a sponsored event in a way, and the community getting better. But at the same time, it's a little frustrating that there are members in the community who aren't doing something. And I can understand the structure of doing something to create some type of something that's happening in there that's unexpected, but not to the point where you've got people who've spent a year planning an event, and organizations who've been for months been practicing and getting ready for these races, only to have people come in and blow them up. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, and it well, in the future, they should be able to have private servers. I mean, this is way past post-launch or whatever, but in the future, when you have private servers, you can do this without interruption. But for now, you got to put up with it because there's always the bad apples, the people who want to see the world burn. You know.
Yeah.
You know what? Because of the fact that SIG is becoming more involved in this event, I would love for them to have or to actually spawn NPCs that will immediately destroy any attacking ship, and have the NPCs nerf them like with 1 or 2 shots and they're obliterated. Seriously, right?
No, that would be cool. That would be very cool. Yeah. Admiral, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Admiral says, well, let's just say one group didn't seem to get attacked in the one that he was watching. So, you know, whether there was some, you know, behind the scenes stuff, it's so hard to say, you know, but it's unfortunate because, again, that event went until late in the evening yesterday. They were on for over 9 hours yesterday, so it was a long time, a lot of preparation. So congratulations to the winners of that and those who participated and people who just supported them and hung out with them. But anyway, that was that. Also today we had some of our friends, Fist to Face and his group Galactic Enterprises Incorporated, contacted us and told us that they were going to be doing an Idris event today, and they asked if we would advertise it for them. And so we did through our Discord. They asked if we could use our Discord. So by the way, Kimmy and Fastcart, I didn't know that we have 90 people signed up in our Discord. I had no idea that we had that many people following us. So those of you who follow us, thank you. We appreciate that for just you guys, the fact that you just decided to put our little dot on your screen, because we know how it is to have too many servers on your screen. But we did send an announcement out to everybody to let them know that they were having this event. And Kimmy, you got a chance to hang out with them today, right?
Yes, this is my second event with them, hanging out and doing an org-centric operation. Yeah, so I had a good time. They're planning next week as well at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do another event. But yeah, it was loads of fun.
Fastcart, you've got to stop drinking orange juice and vodka while we're doing the show. That does not go over well. So Kimmy, Kimmy, the question.
Getting ready for a Snoop Dogg concert.
Yeah, really?
Well, hey, you complain when I bring Ripple. You complain when I bring the other stuff. What can I drink on the air then?
With his mind on his UEC.
Yeah, I guess so. So Kimmy, the question of the day: did you guys get the Idris? That's the thing we gotta find out.
Bagged it.
You got it.
In this instance, it actually lost its engine capabilities because it was chasing us down into atmosphere, because we found a way to, instead of going to stations to refuel and repair, we were doing that on the ground on one of the pads. Okay. And so it was a quicker way to, replenish, restock, repair, go back up into the space. And it was at a point where it was trying to follow us, but then it had sustained so much damage. The engines started to fail. It was like basically free falling, and we started lighting it up.
Cool, that's awesome. Fist to Face, good to see you. Lucky 13 guy, good to see you as well. We really are happy to have you guys with us. And there was somebody else who snuck in. Who was it that I saw? Lucky
Mad Style.
Mad Style, that's who it was. Mad Style. Hey, yes. Mad Style, good to see you. And Vickers, good to see Vickers as well.
Vickers Media.
That's great. Well, I'm glad, Fist to Face, I'm glad you guys had a good time out there with the Idris. And I don't know, man. I was watching you guys, and I was getting my mom's lunch together. You guys were getting started. Then I served my mom's lunch, and y'all was getting started. And then I got my mom's dinner up, and y'all was getting started. And I went and got in my car, and y'all was getting started. So I said, you know what? I should have just jumped on in with them, because I didn't think I was going to be able to catch up with you guys. But if I had went on ahead and got that stuff done, I was like, man, I could have got with them and went out for a little bit. So I'm going to try to get with you guys next round as best I can. Besides, I mentioned to you, Saturdays are kind of funky with me at that time of the day. Anyway, okay, let's jump into stuff, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Let's as you guys know, we're going to be, as I mentioned earlier, for those of you who got here a little bit late, we are doing some giveaways today. we are going to be giving away. Yes, we're giving away Kimmy 65.
Like
no. Right? I said we're giving away Kimmy 65. No, we're not going to give away Kimmy. What we are going to do, hey, that'd be a great raffle, man. They'd be saying, listen, Kimmy, hey, that'd be great.
Human trafficking is not a part of the.
Wait a minute.
No. Just sign up for Kimmy's OnlyFans and you'll be fine.
There you go. His OnlyFans page. Yeah, his OnlyFans page.
Human trafficking.
Okay, we are giving away some HCS voice packs today, guys. And at the end of the day, we're going to be giving away a 500 gig Samsung SSD.
For free?
And so, yeah, for free. Well, for free to them. It ain't free to us, but it's free to them. No, we're just kidding. You guys know that because we've always told you that the money that comes in that you guys donate through subscriptions, we just want to turn that right back around and give it to you. So because we've been talking about hardware and building up your rigs and stuff like that, we want to be able to give you some things that will enhance your gaming.
Yes.
Hence today's name, Enhanced Gaming. We want to be able to do that for you guys, okay? So we're going to do that probably somewhere around the top of the hour. We're going to start giving those away every Mad Style.
Thank you, Mad Style.
Mad Style, forever faithful.
Oh my
Mad
gosh,
Style.
Mad Styles 07 to you, sir.
500 bits. Thank you, Mad Style, as always. We're going to start right at the top of the hour, and we're going to start giving away those maybe every 10 minutes or so. We're going to give away those, and then at the end of the show, we're going to give away that SSD. So for those of you who either want to use that SSD for Star Citizen, which is what a lot of people do exclusively. Yep. Or you may decide to put your operating system on it, your Windows. That way your system runs faster in general. Whatever way you want to use it, hey,
or you can do both.
On you. Or you can do both. Yeah, whichever way you want to do it. It's a 500 gig. Yeah, that's a lot of room to be able to use for SSD. Okay.
Yes.
So today we're going to be talking about what are those things that enhance your gaming, what make playing Star Citizen better. Now, of course, some of this can apply to other stuff that you do, but for today, we want to kind of keep the emphasis leaning towards Star Citizen. So let's take a look. Let's go to our very first item here. Now, this may not seem like a big deal to some people, but I think we do need to talk about this. And this is one of the first places you start. And when you sit down is your chair. Let's start with Kimmy. Kimmy, what kind of chair do you sit on? Do you have like a Office Max chair? Do you have a old chair that was in the attic? Or did you decide to say, I want me a nice gaming chair? What do you got?
I guess it's somewhere in between. I got this at Home Depot, Office Depot, and it has the ergonomic neck rest, but definitely when it's said and done, at some point I'm thinking of getting a high-end ergonomic chair. But I'm a little more on the old school side. I'm a big fan of the Herman Millers, and when you say Herman Millers, one of the newest things that they came up with, they did a joint venture with Logitech, the Herman Miller Logitech joint.
Right.
That's cool, but I've worked where I've had an office chair where it was a Herman Miller, and let me tell you, it was the best experience regarding a type of chair. I've tried that particular chair, Griff, not window shop wise, right? Go to the store, sit in it. It's cool. I see the trend. I see why people kind of hearken to it, but it's not my style.
Yeah, I can hear you.
It really clings and hugs. It's a little too tight.
Too tight. But I hear you. Okay. Fastcart, what about you? Herman Miller. Okay. Fastcart.
I got a cheapo office chair from Amazon. I buy one every 3 years or so, but they don't last. The fabric doesn't last long, and they start falling apart. I try to tighten the screws and whatnot to try to keep it together for as long as possible. But one day I'm gonna get a nice chair, maybe $500, $1,000, but not anytime soon. But yeah, I'm looking forward to one of those more comfortable chairs. But see, I'm a short guy. I'm only 5'2", so it's really hard for me to find one that really fits me. And yeah.
Well, I'm going to go the other way from you. I'm not 5'2". I'm a big guy, and it's hard for me to find a chair that fits me, if you know what I mean. So I have to find, and Kimmy's to the point, the gaming chairs quite often are very ergonomic, and they've been, like the big one is like the racing kind of chairs. And so, yeah, for
Yes.
people who are kind of a moderate size and also fairly, they're built a certain way, those chairs fit them very well. Now, my chair is a larger version of those chairs, but these
Nice.
chairs are not expensive. I, like you, Kimmy, I was getting really nice office chairs for a while. I'd spend anywhere from, maybe $100 to $200 on a decent one, and they're okay.
Yes.
What I will say about this chair was $500. Now, I had never spent that much money on a chair, but it was also when I decided that I would be in a chair for much longer times.
Yes.
What I will
Good
say
point.
is the fatigue factor isn't there as much. You know what I mean by my physical body. But 64 bit me. Thank you for the follow. But the other side to that,
64.
yeah, the other side to that, Kimmy, for me though, is that I also know that as we're getting older, our bodies respond differently. I think these chairs are great for younger people, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think as we're older, you do.
You feel it.
And now, mind you, it does have that little lumbar thing in the back that keeps you, better posture. Like you said, you got the headrest and things like that. But very seldom does my head ever touch this. Now, this chair, one thing that this chair does do that I've never used it for, it will recline to a 90-degree position so that you can actually go to sleep in it, laying flat, and it won't flip over on you. But I've never used that feature, right? But the reason why we're telling you guys about chairs is because depending on how much time you spend in a chair, you have to factor that in, because a chair may feel really good the first half hour, the first hour. But if you're in the chair for 3 hours, 4 hours, you start to feel it. So pay attention to reviews.
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours. Yeah. Pay attention to reviews, pay attention to what people say about the chairs, the construction of them. Pay attention to the weight factors on the chairs. If you're a bigger guy like me, a lot of these chairs may only go up to 175 pounds, 160 pounds, 225 pounds. So make sure that the chair is something that can sustain you. And yeah, fastcart.
Oh, and I was talking about height. So I'm 5'2", so I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. When I try to sit back and sit all the way back, I look really small in my a lot smaller in my chair. So
yes, so you kind of like get that illusion of you like shrinking down when you lay back in the chair.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
To what you said, Griff, it was kind of funny. Something just danced around in my mind, an image, and you saying, well, you're in the chair, and you have the chair that can actually. What's going to happen when we get the true persistence in game, and you get all the server meshing stuff in, and then you're actually on the carrot doing exploration across several systems? People
for 8 hours.
Yeah, they're gonna start reclining and like,
chair.
I better come back in this ship because
I hate to say that.
You were trying to fly one hand.
You know what?
Yeah.
But you know what? He's not too far off, because I have done that before, Kimmy. I've leaned back in this chair to relax while I'm in quantum, and man, I'm gone. There's some good comments. Some good comments here. Oglock says he's waiting for Lazy Boy to make a computer chair. That's a good one.
Yes.
Mad Style says an autonomous chair I have is holding up really great after a year. That's awesome, and has a 350-pound limit. Awesome. Let's see. Radagast says, gotta say, I have one of those Herman Miller Arion chairs, and it is really, really comfortable. That's very, very cool.
I'm trying to tell you guys.
Dark Knight says it's so important. It works for your posture, Admiral Kusanagi. Cost may be negligible. And I will say this, the initial cost is there, but I will say the quality craftsmanship, and it's you have to ask yourself, is it worth the dollar? And I think it's just it's almost like that thing when you buy a computer, you hate to bite the bullet to do it, but once you do, you say, man, I wish I did it sooner. In some ways, that's the way it is about getting a good chair. It does not have to be a gaming chair. We're just saying, get something that's good for you. If you get it at Office Max, wherever you get it, just make sure it's something that definitely is worth it. Secret Labs, yes, Vickers. I was really into them, but they didn't carry it to my weight. But see, I loved Secret Labs. They got that really cool Batman chair too over at Secret Labs. So they got a really cool one. Okay, so let's move on beyond the chair to the next big item here.
It's obvious we all got to lose weight so we can get better chairs.
So we can get into the smaller chairs, right? Okay, let's go to the next item here, and that's keyboards. I know we're starting with basic stuff, guys, but there's some important stuff to think about when it comes to keyboards. The keyboard that's on the screen right now it's not the best shot, but it's the one I have, but I have a later version of it. But the reason why I want to mention this particular keyboard is you want keyboards. And this is, we're talking in relation to Star Citizen now, mind you, and also for gaming in general, The difference in this keyboard is there are two things that for some people make a big difference. One of them is that if you look on the far left, it has multi-function buttons that can be programmed. If you notice, there's like 5 buttons that run down that side. So you can program those buttons to be anything you want them to be. So if you want, I think it's M1, M1 through 5. So if you want M1 to bring something up or mute something, or if you wanted to activate something, you can do that outside of the normal key bindings that you could do with your regular keyboard. The second thing is that it's a mechanical keyboard, which is another factor too. Some people don't like they like mechanical over non-mechanical keyboards, right? Depending on what you want to do. Now, depending on sensitivity, feel, a whole bunch of other things. Kimmy, what about you? By the way, my keyboard I'm using is the Razer Black Widow Chroma. Yeah, Chroma. I've got the Chroma. Okay. That's the old one there, but I've got the later version. Kimmy, what about you? What are you using?
I have that same keyboard. It's the Ultimate Black Widow 2013.
Okay. And how do you like it pretty much? Do you use the functions, or do you pretty much use it as a standard keyboard, or do you actually get in there and monkey around with some of the programming, the bindings and stuff?
You know what? To be honest, I like the LED lights. If it's dark in the room, I can see the keyboard.
Yes,
basically.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a quality build thing for me. So I've had it since 2013. It still use it. Still got it.
Yep. That's good. And if you get that much use out of it, that's really good. And you're right, Kimmy. One of the things that's nice about lighted keyboards like this, I mean, other than the flash, right? I mean, yeah, it looks cool. But the one thing that I've done with my system, because I have an all Razer system, what I do is I set my colors based on games. So I might have Star Citizen as blue. I might have ESO as orange. But when I see all my peripherals shift colors, I know that they're all set up for whatever those setups are for those particular games. So that's the other cool benefit to having lighting. Fastcart, what about you? What are you doing for your keyboards?
You can bring up a picture of my keyboard. I'll put it in the link. But I use not a special keyboard, but when one of my first computers was a ThinkPad, and ThinkPad, I don't know if you guys know, had the little track point, red dot in the middle, and thank you, and it's on the screen. So I've been using that for 25 years now, and the ThinkPad kind of when they were sold, they're no longer called really ThinkPad, but I still love the keyboard and the layout, and so I do everything one-handed, so it's easy for me to like type something, then go to the track point, then continue typing instead of having to move my hand all the way over to a separate mouse. And it's $130. It's kind of more on the expensive side, but I keep them for 5 years. I use a keyboard cover to try to keep them protected from dust and whatever I might spill on it. But unfortunately, my last keyboard, I had to get melted ice cream on it, so I had to get that replaced. Yeah, don't ask. But that was like. I got this one almost a year ago, January 2020. So yeah, that's the latest and newest model. But the one before that, I had it for like 6 years.
I want to know how you sitting there eating ice cream playing a game with a keyboard. That's what I want to know.
No, Griff. How much ice cream did it take to get down into the damn keyboard?
No. The thing is, what happened was the keyboard cover that I always use, it's 6 years old, so it developed holes over time. So yeah,
okay,
it didn't cover it properly. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to make a point to get a replacement cover every other year.
Kimmy, I was gonna say he is serious OG eating ice cream and playing games at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey Griff, was it a cone?
Yeah,
was
really?
It a cup?
No.
Was it a bucket?
It was
a half a gallon. Quarter?
Half pint.
Half pint. That's good.
Half pint.
Maybe that'll be the new name now. We call him Half Pint once in a while for his ice cream. We'll call him Half Pint. That'll be the deal. What's up, Half Pint?
Tablespoon.
Hey, I won't know if you're talking about my height or my weight or whatever.
Okay, so anyway, keyboards, as you guys know, are important to when you're doing gaming, and of course just to use your computer and access it. So get a keyboard, read reviews again. Some people, I don't use any of those mini keyboards or short keyboards. Oh, the other thing that for Star Citizen, having a keyboard. Now I don't know, Fastcart, yours had this too. Did yours have a keypad on the side on the right? Did it have a keypad on it? Okay.
No, it's a numpad, but not a keypad.
I'm in a numpad. I'm in a numpad. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. Thank you. A numpad.
Yeah, it had the numpad.
Okay, so numpads are, for those of you who are doing certain things in Star Citizen, you know the numpad is one of the things you can use even for using the remote camera and other things that you can do in the game. And if you don't have a numpad on your keyboard, that's one of the things that you're going to be missing out in relation to Star Citizen. So keep that in mind. You do want something that has a numeric pad on the right side. Yeah, fastcart.
I completely forget because I use it every day, but I don't think about it. The one thing that's missing with my setup is that I don't have a middle mouse button, so I can't really scroll up and scroll down or zoom out and zoom in. So I use a separate software called Neat Mouse, and once it's activated, you can use the numpad to control all that stuff using the numpad.
Okay, what's the name of it again?
It's called Neat Mouse.
Neat Mouse.
NEAT Mouse.
Okay, Neat Mouse. Awesome.
Software. Yeah.
Cool. Ops Chief, welcome. Good to see you. Saint Tosin, good to see you as well. Thank you guys for dropping in with us today. And of course, you guys have anything that you all want to share, please feel free to drop it in chat as always, because you guys shared a lot of good information last week when we were talking about builds, and I'm sure you'll have good information this week as well. Okay, let's jump on to the next item since Fastcart just mentioned it. Let's talk about it. Mice.
Yes,
Mises. Yeah, Mises. That one there is a Logitech. I think it's the 910. I don't know if those of you who are the Logitech fans out there, you guys will recognize which one that is. I myself, again, I use Razer stuff. I have the Razer Naga Chroma. It is an MMO mouse. They call it an MMO mouse because it's one of those mice that has 12 buttons on the left side.
12 buttons.
Yeah, it's designed
12 buttons.
Yes,
Overkill.
it's designed. Well, again, it's called an MMO mouse, right? It's an MMO, and the reason why is like if you're playing a game like ESO, where keys 1 through 0 represent bringing up weapons, instead of you touching the keypad, they're all right there at your thumb, and so you do build up muscle memory to feel, when you want number 8 or number 3 or number 5, and that's what it's used for more than anything. In Star Citizen, I do use 1 through 4 when I'm on FPS, to bring up my weapons and stuff using that same thing. Okay. So it does translate into Star Citizen well, but it's not for Star Citizen as much as it's for large MMOs like World of Warcraft, things of that nature. But those buttons are handy for me. It also has, of course, a center mouse wheel, and then there's a double button right behind the center mouse wheel. One of those buttons, for example, I use for landing. Another one I use for going into quantum. So that's all on the mouse there for me as well. And then, of course, the regular 2 buttons. So basically, it's a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 button mouse. It's corded. It's not wireless. I haven't gone to wireless. I've been thinking about doing that because the wireless mice have gotten better as far as charge times and all that other stuff. But for right now, I've been pretty happy with this one. Kimmy, what about you? What do you...
Well,
what's
I
your
was
question?
going to ask you, Griff. Wait a minute. You said Star Citizen isn't an MMO?
No, you're saying
I don't mean like that. I mean in the traditional sense of games that are. It is an MMO.
Right.
Well, let's say this: it's supposed to be an MMO. It ain't an MMO with 50 people in a server. It ain't there yet, but eventually we'll be at the MMO status. But you know what I mean.
I mean,
you know what I mean. Yeah. So what do you use?
Well, see, I'm like you, Griff. We got similar tastes, man. But I did stick with. I also stuck with the Razor series, but I have the Aurora Boreas.
Oh yeah.
It looks like the. Let me pull that bad boy out.
be careful.
Let me see if I can show you.
Be careful.
It looks like the frick. Huh? Say again, Dog Fastcart.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. That's cool. That's a cool mouse.
Right
yeah.
It looks like the Batman's or the Batman Beyond.
No, it's very cool. Yep. Very cool.
It's a beast, man. And like you, Griff, like you said, you mentioned it's the wireless technology. What's cool about this mouse is that you can wire it or you can go wireless with it. And when we talk about wireless, Logitech made a really cool wireless mouse. But here's the thing. The battery was embedded in it inside the mouse, and you couldn't replace it. You had to send it in. With this mouse, particularly with its battery, you put in a rechargeable battery, a double A.
Okay.
And you can replace it.
Nice.
So I have a rechargeable battery that I use for it. whenever I just pull the plug, and I got the receiver sits right under or next to the keyboard.
Okay.
This is the recharging base.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, it wasn't cheap. It was
I was
like,
going to
at
say,
the time it was $150.
I was going to say, because that one's a step above mine, because I think mine was running 99, and I think that's my pockets wasn't that deep, but that mouse you got is nice. No, that is like a really, really cool mouse. It really is a nice mouse.
It was in a little almost like in a glass cube or a plastic cube where they advertised it, and it was a birthday present for me.
Nice.
And I've had it ever since. Still have it. It's a great mouse.
Very cool. Very cool.
This reminds me, like last week, I was showing all the products. Every time a different topic come up, I didn't get a single sponsorship offer.
Yeah, I know you're waiting on Samsung to call you up. I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Not
Give me
gonna
a call,
happen.
man.
Yeah, right. Okay, FC, what are you using? What do you got over there for yourself? For your mouse, what are you using?
I didn't hear. Say it again.
Oh, your mouse. What are you using for a mouse?
I'm using the trackpad on the keyboard.
Oh, okay. So you use that exclusively.
I use that exclusively.
Oh,
yes.
okay. I didn't know if it was a conjunction.
And Neat Mouse.
Okay, and Neat Mouse together. Okay, so that's the way you work it. All right,
Yeah.
cool, awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's a viable alternative to folks who don't want to use a mouse, right, or are unable to use a mouse. That gives you an alternative way to get some of the same functions out of the game. That's very cool.
Exactly, or you have disability and you have limited mobility and stuff like that. Instead of using the middle mouse button, I can use A to zoom in or 2 to zoom out because of Neat Mouse.
Okay, very cool, very nice. Okay, all right, let's move on. Go ahead, Kimmy.
It's one word that ties all this stuff together, and I just it's immersion, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because that's what it makes you get more into the game, right? And in some ways we have to be careful because all the tech can kind of get in the way of that if we're not careful. And tech levels are going to be at different places. I remember Gigi was talking about when she saw the guy's big sim pit last week. She says, I don't want to have to think that much about playing the game. I just want to be able to get in the game and have fun. Other people, for them, that's the challenge, right? That they want to sense all the switches and all the knobs that they see in the game, right? And they say, hey, I want to be able to interact. So it's different for everybody. But you're right, Kimmy. All these kind of help bring the point of immersion into the game better for everybody. Okay. Now, here's one that a lot of people don't think about, headsets. A lot of times people kind of go cheap on headsets, I think, because they basically want to make sure that it's maybe got 7.1 and that's about it, but headsets can vary in their quality. Fastcart, I'm going to start with you this time because you have a very unique headset and you may want to talk about why you bought that one in particular.
Well, I have two headsets. These ones I'll talk about first, but these are the Audio-Technica BPHX1 broadcast stereo headset. These are the same ones that Disco Lando used, and I think it's false advertising because I've used them for like a year now, and I sound nothing like Disco Lando. But anyways, I do sound better than what I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the link for it. And these are just for when I'm doing podcasts. The problem with these is that I sound better, but the foaming and the padding, especially with glasses, after a while they start to get on my nerves, for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. I'm good for a couple of hours or hour or whatever, but not for long term. But the other ones I have are the Astro Gaming A40s. I'll put a link in. And those have much better padding. I can wear them for like hours and hours and hours and never have a problem with them. Yeah. And I got those from GriffinGaming. So thank you for that, Cushion.
Nice. Yeah. And those the ones that you have on now, and you can tell there's a marked difference in your mic quality because those are broadcast headphones basically. The microphone in there is where the money is.
These use what is it called? Shadow power.
Yep. And that microphone is what really makes a big difference. And as you guys most know, a lot of gaming headsets, they're great on the ear sound, but quite often the microphones aren't that great. They often sound not very they sound very thin. Yes, tinny, very thin. And that's usually the difficulty. Kimmy, like for example, right now, he's using an outboard mic, the Sony, which is a broadcast quality mic that gives really, really good sound.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Shure.
SMB7.
The Shure. I'm sorry, I mean to say Sony. Shure. The Shure SMB7.
Sure.
I'm using the Rode mic on mine, but I'm not using the microphone that's on my Razer headsets. Unfortunately, the Razer mic is not very full in its sound, and so we're using that. But that's what I'm using right now. Kimmy, what are you using for headset?
These are what is it called? The
Kim, you're supposed to do your homework before the show.
Either that or just take them off and look at them. Yeah, just take them off and look at them.
I don't know why I'm having a brain fart
That's
right
okay.
now, but they're like Hitachis or something like that.
Okay,
And,
okay.
Again, they're entry level, and to what Griff said, it's kind of like if you don't come into the headset game with a full set of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, you figure, well, I just want something to hear or listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what happened with this particular set was that I had something like what fastcart had. It was based off of the Logitech gaming headset, but it had the mic built in. So, but when I went and upgraded my microphone, then I had to get a separate earphone set to the mic, right? And so I was like, well, I just paid for the Shure, and I'm like, okay, I just need some headphones.
Right.
And not knowing, so it's like, okay, I just want to get in and run it. And like to fastcart's credit, man, these things kill my ears, man. It's like, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, it beats your ear down to the point where you're like, my God, you know, you're adjusting them and moving them over. But the Logitechs, they make some of the most comfortable cushions. So it was so bad for me. I've gotten, since then, I've actually purchased the Sennheisers. These are the Sennheisers, the earbuds,
Right.
to get away from the freaking pain of these headsets.
Right. No, that makes sense.
I can never get used to just the earbuds, because I can never get like a clean, what do you call them? When you put them in your ear and you put the fit, a clean fit in my ear.
Your balance,
they always
yep.
like to slide out and whatever. When
You have to make sure that you buy a decent set. Like the ones I've got here, like Kimmy, I've got some Sonys here, and I normally have these on. In fact, I normally switch to these when the show starts, but I completely forgot today because they're less obtrusive. And as you mentioned, sometimes these headphones, if I've had them on all day, they do start to get to you after a while. So some things we do want you all to think about is pay attention again to reviews. People talk about comfort. Some of them will have cooling gels in them now so that you won't get really hot. There's all types of stuff now. Some stuff is just kind of frilly. You know, sometimes they got the lights, they'll change colors. You know, if you care about that's fine. But the biggest things you want to worry about is the quality of the build, that they last. Because one of the people complain about is that they drop their headsets and they fall apart. You know, you want something that's going to last you a while. You're definitely going to get good ear quality in the sense of surround sound. So, and if you want to take advantage of that in Star Citizen, to take advantage of 7.1 or 5.1, you want to make sure you have that. The microphone, for most gaming ones, you may luck up and get something halfway decent. I do want to read a couple things. I'm going to get you fast cart in 2 seconds. I just want to read what some people posted because people talked about what they're using. Mad Style says he uses the Corsair Void Wireless. Full charge, lasts 6 to 7 hours when continuous. Nice. When the battery runs low, he can hook it up to the charger and still play with it. There was somebody else who had something in here that I missed earlier.
HyperX.
Oh, the HyperX Kusanagi. Yeah, I use the HyperX too, the red metal black leather ones. I also use a tabletop Audio Technica tripod mic when I don't want to wear them. Very, very cool. So a lot of people have a lot of stuff that other things that are out there. There's plenty of stuff out there. Just do your homework. The Razer V2 is nice. Thanks, Plague Dealer. That's another good one that was mentioned as well. Get fast card.
If you really want to, like, you know, to try to test before you buy it, you go to Best Buy or Micro Center or someplace. They let you give them tests. You can put them on your head and whatever to see how they feel and whatnot. But when I'm going out, these are my Sennheiser Urban XL that I like to use. You can see the pads on these. These are really nice. But that connect. These are Bluetooth connect to my phone.
Yeah, and they're also not cheap if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yeah, no, they're not. No, but I intend to use those for years and years and years, and so yeah, it's a good investment for at least for me.
Yeah. Josh is asking, are any of us using wireless headsets? They all seem to be wired. I am using wired. I'm not using wireless right now, and it's not any preference right now. I don't think it's because I'm worrying about compression or anything. It's just what I have right now, I think. And also, back in the day, I'm an old school guy. Back in the day, batteries didn't last very long, and I didn't want to have to worry about them. But now the build is so much better on them now, so maybe I would consider it at this point.
To pick up on what Griff said, I'm old too. It's like I would just forget to charge them, and I would go to sleep. Forget to put them on the charger. Wake up later on and try to carry on in what I'm doing and out of charge. So no, wired for me.
Yeah,
but the technology has gotten better, and that's one of those things you have to check on. But with that said, the thing for me, or the issue with me, was the lag between of you're online and the signal has to get transmitted, come across to wireless. So that was my concern and why I went to wired. And to what fastcart said, he mentioned the two stores where you can try out headphones, Best Buy and Micro Center. There's another retail store, if you're near one, that they have pretty good sales. And that would be the Guitar Center.
Mm-hmm. Keep your eyes open for them. Yep, absolutely. Okay.
Can I make one more point? To talk about software for if you're streaming or whatnot, and when you get a headset, RTX Voice. I have to put out a shout out for that. I'm currently not using it, but I do use Voice Meter to help me out. Because, RTX Voice does a good job of cutting out keyboard noise and stuff like that, or background noise in general. But the thing is, you have to have a more up-to-date computer in order to take advantage of it. My computer is a bit too old. So if I try to use RTX Voice, my voice won't come in as clear. So I'm not using it at the moment. But Voice Meter also helps. It has a gate option, so that I keep it at a level where if I type something, it won't pick it up. But if I start talking, it will pick me up.
And it takes a bit of a discipline to use gates, because you do have to project at a certain level to get past the threshold on it. But you get used to it. You get used to it, particularly if you're streaming. So that's something to consider. Invictus Pretorius says, I use a wireless Xbox headset with my PC. They last about 8 hours on a single charge. I don't like the mic though, so I use a different one when I'm streaming or recording. So everybody's got their kind of thing that works.
It's really hard to find one that's really good at both audio for your ears and good mic pickup. But I don't really use these for everyday stuff. Like I said, I use the Astro for that. But the mic quality, I'm really pleased with.
Okay, cool. All right, let's jump to the next item here. This is another investment one here, and this can come in at different levels. So we may spend just a couple extra minutes talking about monitors, unless, maybe we'll cover it in 2 seconds. I don't know. But monitors, as you guys know, come in a variety of sizes, configurations, specifications, and you have to find a monitor that works for you, not just in the sense of what the monitor can do, but quite often even the physical dimensions of the monitor. Will it fit within the space that you want to put it in? Does it aesthetically, does it work with what you have? Each one of us have different monitors. I don't know what these guys, I do know what Kimmy has. I don't know what fastcart has. So let me start with fastcart. Fastcart, what are you using for a monitor? One monitor, two monitors? What are you using? Cell phone?
One monitor. I'm in the market for upgrade. Not in the market, but I'm in the mood for an upgrade. I've had this for. I bought this in April 2015, but the Tempest X27 OC up to 120 hertz capable. I currently have it set at 96 hertz because when I tried it at 120, it didn't really work well. But it's not G-Sync, it's not FreeSync or anything. It's just a normal sync. And 27 inch, 1440p. I went from a 1200 to 1440. I'm never going back down below 1440 because you can't really go back. And I did notice the difference between 96 hertz and 60 hertz. I can't go back to 60 hertz.
Okay, fair enough. Kimmy, how about you? What are you using?
Well, I'm using for gaming. I'll say this real quick that PC monitors and TV, there's a line now that's being blurred between the two, and I did my research on monitors because I wanted again. My gaming rig is based around Star Citizen in itself, so I wanted to get that FPS experience, that immersion, but also that competitive edge, or to be competitive. So I wanted, like, to fastcart's credit, that 60 hertz was not getting it. But then when you're talking about playing Star Citizen to its fullest potential, I did my research, and I had a buddy that tried to talk me down, man, was debating me down about OLED. I have an OLED monitor. It's a 48-inch monitor. What should I say, TV? It's a BFG, basically.
Okay.
Effing gaming.
Yeah.
And so, but LG is the premier technologist in regards to OLEDs. The dots are actually active. They're little dots of LED lights. And so your blacks are black, your colors are true. You don't have to really even calibrate this thing. But then they also made it, what was the compelling thing about this monitor was that it's G-Sync compatible, it's 1 millisecond, and it runs at 120 hertz 4K. So it was a no-brainer. I caught it on sale. I was always looking at it, lurking to pounce on it when it was available, and it came on sale, and I jumped on it.
Can I
haven't looked back.
What was it? How much was it on sale?
I think it was probably like 12 at the time on sale. I think it's. Oh, wait a minute! Come on, man! Come on, really?
That much?
Really?
Yeah.
You probably
Well, for 4K.
when I typed.
Well, Kimmy, how long ago was this too? How long ago was this when you bought it, roughly?
This is probably the holiday.
Okay.
Probably
During
before the holiday.
Okay. It's a 4K. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say for 4K and 120 hertz, that's pretty good. And you're talking about a 1 millisecond
delay.
Yeah, latency. You cannot beat that. But but the thing that really got me was the OLED display, because there's not a lot of lag in it, because it has the dots are active.
Right.
And so when you play Star Citizen with it, man, I mean, its potential has been found as far as that immersion and graphic display. It's the ultimate.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy
I'm not making
with
fun
it.
of you. I'm not making fun. Is it curved or flat?
Oh, it's flat.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I thought about that too, fastcart, with this monitor, but again, it's 48 inches.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's all there. It's 40. when you put it into 4K and it runs it, I'm running it at 4K. I'm playing Star Citizen at 4K. You don't even think about it being curved.
Yeah, at that
it's
size.
It's all there.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing too, that depending on the size of a monitor too, I think, Kimmy, you're within pretty close proximity of your monitor, like I am. And so for some people who maybe you could say 48 inches, but if you're sitting across the room from it, that's one thing. Versus if it's sitting just a couple feet away from you, which makes a big difference in immersion as well. Ibra Citizen, thank you for the 100 bits. We appreciate that. And Invictus, if I didn't say thank you for the follow, thank you. 64-bit me, thank you also for the follow, because I missed you as well. I want to read something here. Fastcart, I saw yours, but there was somebody else who put Mad Style. Mad Style says his wife bought him a Asus ROG Strix 6. Check this out. XG 4090 VQ 49-inch, super wide, ultra wide, curved. I can't even imagine what that probably was costing, but it sounds like a really cool model. I'm going to write that down because I'm going to look at that one for
translation. That's a good woman. That's a good woman.
I'm glad Kimmy said something.
Yeah.
That's a good woman.
Yeah. L-Doc says that he's running a 32-inch, 1 millisecond 4K 1440 hertz curved that was on sale before the holidays for $400. Wow. That's
wait a minute. Rewind that one more time for me, Griff, because you rolled that off so quick, man.
Okay, sure. A 32-inch, 1 millisecond 4K 1440 hertz curved on sale before the holiday for $400. That's stupidly good.
You said 1440 hertz.
No, no.
144
144.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, 4K. Yeah. So
Holy
he got a good deal.
What manufacturer brand is that?
Yeah, let us know who the manufacturer is on that, please. Admiral Kusanagi says he's using two 27-inch monitors, secondary on the side for vertical. Okay, so very long screen, very cool.
See scripts.
Yep. I used to do dual screens for a while, and then I shifted and went like Kimmy. I went to a larger format, but mine, I stayed within the PC monitor realm. I ended up going with the HP. What's this thing called? Omen. It's a 32 inch. It only does 75 hertz at the time. You know, it was still kind of fast.
It's good.
But 32 inches, and this thing is probably sitting maybe 2 feet away from me, roughly. And so, because 27 inch for me, I didn't want to go that, because you have two 27 inches, which kind of gave you that widescreen feel. But this 32 inch, I really, really like. Plus, I'm getting older. I do other video editing.
What?
No, I mean, seriously, my eyes. I'm noticing my eyes. When I turned 50, my eyes started changing. And so, because I do a lot of Photoshop,
you look good.
well, I do a lot of Photoshop work, a lot of video editing and Premiere and other stuff. And so, the monitor for me allows me to also set up, multitasking and have multiple windows open. So I'd rather have one big, large screen than having dual screens where I'm splitting things up. But for gaming, this monitor has held up, and now I'm kind of like in that space, Kimmy, where I'm ready to maybe think about moving up to a higher hertz. This is fit for me with Star Citizen right now, but now I'm maybe ready to go to, I'm at 2K right now, and this is fine. 2K is fine for me right now. So anyway, that's the scoop on mine. What were you gonna say, fastcart?
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about maybe getting a Samsung, probably going to 32 inch and probably going to 4K on my next one. I don't know when that's going to be.
That's it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, when we're talking about this type of game, and we're talking about, we know we're going to put time into this. We've been around. We've been watching the project. We're going to be in this game for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead and do what you're supposed to do to really enjoy it to its fullest,
Yep.
And again, like with this monitor that I have, I did a custom build on my desk. I built my desk, and it's 8 feet in width, and it's 4 feet in depth. From the wall to me, it's 4 feet. Left to right, it's 8 feet long. So I have the real estate to hold up where I can, where it's placed. It's fine. But yeah, that's some things you want to consider as far as that, where do you want to place these monitors on?
Let me go back fastcart real quick.
That's one last thing.
Let me. That's when L Duck answered your question. He said he's using a Samsung, and he said he has actually 3 monitors. He says he has that 32, and then he's got 2 29s as well that are set up in his setup. Okay, go ahead, fastcart. What were you gonna say?
Love it.
I was going to say, the other thing, I don't think we really touched on it a little bit, but FreeSync and G-Sync, keep those in mind as well when you're considering a monitor, especially like what video card you have, or what video card you might think you have in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think mine is FreeSync. I think mine is.
FreeSync is for AMD.
Yeah, yep, it's
G-Sync
FreeSync.
is
Yep.
for
Actually, not anymore. FreeSync can be both now.
It can now.
Depending on the monitor.
Yeah, G-Sync opened the technology up to AMD FreeSync. But yeah, based on your card or your video card, you're gonna go native to that.
Absolutely.
It's a difference maker. Let me tell you. And your monitor, if you want to check, like fastcart said, you want to check to see if it's compliant with that. Because you have some monitors that they'll say this, but you want to still see if it's certified by either G-Sync or FreeSync capable.
And the availability for something, even whether you have the control to turn it on and off as well, which is another factor, because some games are better with or without it. Very quickly, it's 8 o'clock, and we're at the point where we're hitting our very first of our giveaways. So I do want to say this very last thing about monitors, and we're going to start setting up for that. Most of us would probably recommend, I think all 3 of us would at the very least recommend, if you're going to buy a monitor, 27 inches is usually the standard for gaming. So you probably want to stay within that realm. And of course, if you want to go bigger, that's entirely on you, where your wallet tells you to go. Be careful though, that bigger doesn't mean better. Kimmy matched bigger along with the specs. So just because you get a bigger monitor, you may have a fuzzier picture if you don't make sure your specs match up to what you want. If you're into FPS really big, those milliseconds are going to mean something to you in the sense of gameplay. So just be aware, do your homework on that. Talk to people who have bought monitors too, if you have, any questions about that.
Yeah, just like they said, DPI is important, or PPI.
Yes, PPI. Yep, absolutely.
Dots per inch.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so why don't we talk about this next subject? I'm going to start setting up for our next giveaway, our first giveaway, I should say, which is going to be for an HCS. We're going to be doing giveaways for, what's it called? HCS. Did they change this thing? Oh my God, they changed the app. Jeez, oh boy, yeah, there's a whole different format here. I got to look at this for a minute. We're going to be doing a giveaway for HCS voice packs, and it'll be the voice pack of your choice. So a lot of you guys are using HCS, or maybe you haven't used it. If there's a certain HCS voice pack that you're interested in, maybe it's Alex, maybe it's the one that sounds like William Shatner, maybe it's Doctor Who, whatever the case may be. All you have to do is let us know which one you want, and we're gonna. I tried to use their gift cards, but for some reason or other, it was acting really goofy. So we're gonna have to figure out how we get them to you guys. But it wasn't acting right.
German instead of US.
Yeah, I know, but I kept trying to get like a credit card at a certain value. I was gonna buy a bunch of them ahead of time, and it wouldn't let me do it for some dumb reason. So I don't know. We're gonna figure out something to make that happen for you guys. In the meantime, give me 1 second to get this all set up.
And by the way, these earphones are Yamahas.
The ones you have on now?
Okay, you said Hitachi.
Yeah, I remember it. I had a brain freeze there on that. Probably because I want to get rid of them.
Okay, I hear you.
Torturing me, man. They hurt.
And it'd be funny if you're the one who gets sponsored by Hitachi next, by the next show.
Like, no thanks. Oh, no, Yamaha. I'm like, no thanks, Yamaha. But the monitor thing, with this monitor, it was they later on had a firmware update, so I was able to go wireless and connect and download the firmware to it. And once I had the compliant card that will allow me to go G-Sync, it automatically kicked in and said, hey, you're using the G-Sync compliant video card. And that thing kicked into hyperdrive. And to some extent, some monitors you have to manually change them.
Back in my day, we didn't have to worry about firmware for monitor. We would just plug and play and we went.
But no, to fastcart, that's funny, but it's, you know what? It's the truth about that. You remember the old school monitors? It never had those issues like what they're doing with the technology today. It could run in 4K. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
The latency,
and the other thing,
all of that.
The old school monitor too. Now you can go through them like every other year, every 3 years, but because they know that you want to replace them or upgrade them or change them or whatever. Yeah. Old school monitor, you can keep that thing for 5-10 years and it's still.
You know what? If you go online, there's now a resurgence where people are actually going online. Hunting these particular types of monitors down, like the Sonys, the flat screen Sony monitors.
The CRTs too. Yeah,
the CRTs, exactly, fastcart. Yeah. If you go online and search that, people are now just going ham on trying to get this old technology because it was better than today's technology with these new resolution monitors and such. All right, I'm guys, like, what happened?
All right, let me cut in for a second, guys. We want to get the giveaway going. We're going to do !HCS, !HCS for the voice packs. If you guys want to put in for the giveaway for voice packs, yeah, that is the scoop. So HCS for voice packs. If you guys want to get in, we're going to do that for about maybe 10 minutes. And then after that, we're going to jump in. So let me move to the next subject here. We're going to move past monitors to a different piece of equipment. Keypads. Are either of you guys using keypads, or am I the only one? Because I don't know if you guys use keypads or not. No,
you got this one.
Nope, I got this one. This one's on me. Okay.
All you.
Okay. HCS, !HCS, guys, if you guys want to get in on this one. Okay, I use there's several of these are being made by several manufacturers actually make these. Again, I told you guys I use Razer, and so I use the Razer Tataris. They have another one called the Oberweaver, but the Tataris, the one on the screen is actually the one that I use. It is a It's not 20 button, is it? Well, I've got the 20 button. I'm sorry, that's the older one. The one I have is the newer one, which is now a 19 button and scroll wheel. So basically, kind of think of it as this would be on your keyboard. It would be from A to R. Boy, what is it? No, I'm sorry. It would be one through 4. Yeah, Q to T, A to F, and Z to V, something like that, or B, whatever the case may be. Then there's a scroll wheel there. Then there's a like a little thing for your thumb that's on the right side. Then you can have different modes. You can have different setups. You can move between them. But this, versus putting my hand on the keyboard, I use this with my left hand. There's also,
that's what frightens me.
There's also a side 8-position switch that allows me to, for example, I will sometimes use that as my thrusters on a ship. So if I push forward, I go up, down, backward, down, left, right. I can use that for nothing but thrusters. All assignable. Everything on here is assignable. That's the benefit to having something like this. So even if you want this to control your F keys, F1 through 12, you could use it for that, so that you don't have to go to your keyboard and try to hit those buttons. Now, mind you, there's some other things that we're going to talk about beyond using this, such as voice attack. But right now, not to be funny, I have the 17 button mouse on the right, and I've got this 23 button keypad on my left. So that's how many things I'm accessing when I'm playing the game with my hands, let alone when you start incorporating
death of the space man.
Yeah, it gets to be a bit. It does. I mean,
so when Griffin said this, I'm imagining that GIF from Ghost in the Shell with that robot hands with those multiple fingers all going around typing on the keyboard when you're playing the game.
Yeah, and there is.
Man, I'm cringing right now.
Yeah, there is.
What he was just saying, I'm getting fired upon in the game, and I'm like, Q1.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, no,
that was my nightmare.
Yeah, no. That is, I mean, because this is assignable, everything's intuitive for me because it's where I want it to be. So there's muscle memory there. So don't get me wrong.
No, you're great with it, right, man. That's good.
Yeah, but again, I think what we're talking about is what customizes to work for everybody.
But for me,
yeah, I mean, I'm just using, for example, like what Fastcart says, he's using the whole toggle no mouse thing. I'm trying, oh my God, how do you do that? You know what I mean? So everybody's kind of got their way. When we get into throttles and sticks, we're really going to talk about the difference in keyboard and how people fly in Star Citizen, because everybody's doing what's within their comfort zone of where they are in the game.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not going to stay on keypads too long, but I'm going to show you the alternative that some people have been using, particularly if you're a streamer, beyond that, and that is going into a stream deck. Now, some of you guys
I could use that technology though. I wish.
Now, some of you guys who stream have heard of a stream deck, and this is basically an assignable keypad. And streamers will often use this thing to trigger, like when I'm right now, these things that are popping up on your screen, I'm using the stream deck to do that. You basically can set up JPEGs, you can set up video, anything that you guys see that pops up on this show, including the scene changes, is all done through my stream deck. That I program that out ahead of time, so all I have to do is push a button and it changes. I don't mess with my streaming software at all. Everything's done through Stream Deck. But you can also use this for something as easy as Star Citizen. So you can set up, I have a setup for this where I have my weapons are on there, my chaff, my flares are on there, my mining lasers on there. This is just another tool. If you own this, all we're saying is you can think beyond the box, beyond streaming, because it's called a stream deck. It could also be used for games as well. We're gonna say fastcart.
You can also create those icons.
Yes, I have all the icons in there. Absolutely. Like right now,
customized.
All the pictures that you see that are on the screen are also on my stream deck, so I visually can just look at that and know what button to push. Good point, Kimmy. Were you gonna say fastcart?
How many presets can you put on that?
As many as you want. It's all software based. It's all software based.
People with 2 or 3 of those things.
Yeah, they actually have one that's a 20. They have one that's a 20 button version of this thing.
Yeah,
that runs like $250 or $225. This one here runs about. If you catch it on sale, this runs around $125. But again, I only would suggest something like this if you're into streaming. But it could be used for anything. Once again, I don't want this to be limited to just thinking about Star Citizen. It could be used for anything.
That's true.
We're talking about all these peripherals. It occurs to me you're going to need a motherboard that can support all these USB ports.
Yeah.
You're going to need like 8, 10, 12 different USB ports to plug all that stuff in.
Yeah, that's no joke. Let's do our first raffle here, guys. Fastcart, would you do me a favor and keep track of who the people are, since we've got so many people today who win, if you would, for me, please?
Okay.
Okay, guys, we're going to roll exclamation point HCS for the HCS voice pack. Let's see who our first winner is going to be for today. Here we go. Count of 3, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Fastcart, you won! Fastcart!
No, you didn't.
Actually, it shouldn't have had you down here for eligibility. Yeah, I know. Don't ask me why it had you down for eligibility, because you technically should not have been in here.
Rigged.
Hang on, yeah, it's rigged. No employees.
I do want the Marina Service Customer Toy one, but I'm going to pass.
No employees of the Soul Citizens are eligible for this raffle.
My last show, no.
Sorry, guys. I told you it was on a new screen, and I didn't notice that it had eligibility. All right, here we go. Let's try one more time here. All right, exclamation point HCS if you're in. Coffee says rigged. Okay, here we go. Count of 3, 3, 2, 1, and boom. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That cannot be.
Who won?
On. It Fastcart again.
Oh, it's
It
rigged.
really wants me to have
right,
Marina
Coffee
Service,
Gamer.
I guess.
I don't know why it has you in here. Hang on. It didn't have you down as eligible the first time, and it ran you, and then I reversed it, and then it still ran you. I don't know why. This is what happens when software changes, guys, and you don't know that they've done an update. So I'm so
really
sorry.
wants me to have Marina Service.
No.
Can we call me Fast Kirk? That's what set this off.
All right. If it doesn't go through this time, gang, I'm going to reset the whole thing. I'm trying not to make everybody do this again. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right.
There we go.
All right. Who won? I don't even see it.
Unimatrix 8.
Was it
Unimatrix
Coffee
8.
Gaming?
There we go. Unimatrix 8. You won. Congratulations, Unimatrix 8. Unimetrics, find some time.
Unimetrics.
Find some time to visit the HCS site, and if you already know what voice you're interested in, then please let us know. You can send that to Fastcart right now in chat, or you can send it to soulcitizens@gmail, soulcitizens@gmail, and we will connect with you on how to get that to you. We're going to do another one of these raffles in we can get ready to start it now. In fact, give me a second to clear everything, guys, and then we're going to start all over again with another one. Hang on a second here. All right, who dropped this? Mad Styles.
Mad Styles.
Thank you for the 500 bits,
What a
Mad
boss.
Style, as always. Thank you. We really, really appreciate you as always. Okie dokie. All right, so let me set this up again. Keyword HCS again. God, I hate
You muted it? What does that mean?
No, it's just on my end. Okay.
Okay.
All right, it's on my end. Okay, I wasn't not pushing the button, so that was on my end. The button. Okay, so we're gonna get you guys set up for this. Let's move on to our next item, which is, this is gonna bring the story. This is gonna bring the conversation. All right, we're moving into the next thing now. This is the graduation, right? Everybody, when you start out with Star Citizen, of course, you get to start out with a mouse and a keyboard, but there are some of you who get to start out with basically using a throttle or a stick or pedals. We are looking at the Thrustmaster 1600. This is their package that you can buy that gives you a HOTAS and it gives you pedals as well. For some people, this is a lot of coordination. Usually people who get into this are not just thinking about Star Citizen, but they're usually into flight simulators. Once you start getting into pedals, you get a little bit more into the whole coordination of your whole body being engaged in flying. Let me start with you, Fastcart. Do you use any of these items?
I do, in fact.
Okay.
I have some links. Let me see if I can find them real quick. I currently use the Thrustmaster T16000M joystick. I got it for $50 in October 2014. That's when I backed for Star Citizen. In fact, I needed a new joystick. Before that, I was using a Flight Stick Pro I put that in switch that too, but you can tell. I mean, I know it looked like the Flight Stick 12 looked like I'm compensating for something, but no, it's just that I needed a left-handed joystick, and the only way I can get a left-handed joystick is to get a uni-hand or a generic joystick that's not right-handed.
Yes.
But for the Thrustmaster, I had to look for a new one. The good thing about the Thrustmaster is you can change change it from a right-handed to a left-handed.
Okay.
And I never used any of the buttons on it. I never used the throttle. We'll talk more about that. I use voice track to change beats and stuff like that.
Okay. Cool.
But I just I play one-handed. Don't ask what I'm doing with the other hand. That's an old joke. It's been done. But I play one-handed with one hand on the joystick. And then I go to the keyboard if I need to, and go back to the joystick, and have fun.
Kimmy, I wasn't going to ask. I wasn't going to ask. That's just it. My brain, usually I'm the one that goes there. My brain didn't even go there this time. So the fact that he
kept talking, keep going.
The fact that he even brought that up just messes my head up. Cold Vision, I didn't get to say hi to you when you came in. Good to see you here. Red Wolf, good to see you here. Fullback, good to see you here. And of course, Noobifier, good to see you here as well.
Jumping Spider, thanks for the follow.
Yes, thank you for the follow, Jumping Spider. We appreciate that. What are you gonna say, Fast?
Thank you.
Noobs.
Just to round out, I used to be. I do love racing games, and when did I buy this? April 2014. This is before I backed for Star Citizen. I got a Forza Motorsport CSR body pack from Phonetic, and had the racing wheel and throttle and pedals and everything like that. It was $410 total because of you had to ship it overseas.
Wow.
And everything and that. And I've only used it. Unfortunately, I only used it for like a month because it was a pain for me to set it up and take it down every time I wanted to stop and play or play games or whatever. So I just switched from using that racing set to just using keyboard for racing games.
Okay. MTS Tuner, thank you for the follow. We appreciate you following us. Thank you. Kimmy, I'm not going to hit you yet. I want to talk about just this set because you and I kind of go to the next level with this. But just so you guys know, this is a great entry level set for people who are interested in going with throttle, stick, and pedals. I think this usually retail runs around $200 US, $199 US. You can catch it on sale from time to time, maybe down to about $169, $159. But the cool thing about this is the stick on this is not very complicated. There are multiple buttons on it, and it gives you most of the basic functions that you could use, and same thing with the throttle. I have the throttle and stick for this. I do not use the pedals. Just because the physicality of where my desk is and stuff just does not allow for me to do that. And I really wasn't into getting into pedals. But this is a great entry level space if you want to jump in on that. Were you going to say, Kimmy?
I'm going to, that's good information, Griff, but I'm going to debunk the entry level. What is the best option as far as that? And again, I totally agree with what you were saying, but there's a new kid on the block that debunks that whole thing, and I just put it in the link, everyone. The Gladiator XTs, if you look at the price point, they're between anywhere of 120 and 150, and when you're talking about quality of build, they surpass the T16000s.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of which, so look at that link. They're from VKB. The quality build is there. The price point is there. Along with the T16000s, they do offer a left and right stick.
Yes.
Oh, they do.
Yes.
Yeah. They both do. Which is really great. I didn't know about this, Kimmy. I hadn't heard about this one.
I wish that we would have got on this before, Griff. I don't want to debunk you or anything. No. I want to make sure that our community and chat is informed of what's going on, because technology is always changing, right? But yeah, back in the day, not so far back in the day, but yeah, the T16000s were the go-to because they were very accurate. They were not digital, but they were they ran in absolute. But there was always this problem now that streamers they really put it through its paces, and now they're doing things of disassembling it, having to oil the joints and stuff, and all this crazy stuff is going on with the T-16,000s now. Now people are beginning to jump ship because of the heavy usage of what Star Citizen has, made these, put it through its paces.
Yep.
But yeah, the Gladiator XTs, if you look at that link, I'm gonna hit the link again.
Yep.
So anyone who's interested in that, go ahead. It's already set to that page, the Gladiator NXTs.
And let me hit this real quick too. I do think that this is a step up, Kimmy, in relation to the 1600s, and I'll tell you why.
Yes,
because the pricing here is a great price. Don't get me wrong. And I think what VKB has done is they've stepped into that lower market value because they've always been known for the higher end stuff. So it's nice to see that they are providing something for people who want to maybe this is their first step, right? Instead of dealing with the Thrustmasters, this is like the person who says, hey, I do want something that I know not only can, because if you buy the Thrustmaster, if you really get serious about flying HOTAS, eventually you're going to want to move up. You're going to want to change from this. I mean, like Kimmy said, these are great when you first come in, but some people say they last them 3-4 years. Some people say a few months before they really are ready to move up to the next thing. But I think the VKB definitely is something, if you get in it, you'll build on that. Where with the 1600s, there ain't much building. Once you get this, you got to move on to the next animal at that point. We're going to say fastcart.
I mean, one of the great things, at least for me, when I got my 16,000, it was only $50. I didn't get the feet, the pedals. I didn't get the throttle. I just got the stick by itself. It was only $50. So I mean, if you just want an entry one, that's great for entry. If you can find it. Numify was saying the T16,000 used to be $50, but demand is up, so probably more than that. Now, if you can find it.
Yeah, they've gone up to the stick.
That's how it is.
I've seen the sticks go up to $99 now, which kind of blew my mind. I don't know what happened that they had this really big price jump. Yeah, they had a weird price jump because at one point, even buying the HOTAS without pedals, I'd seen it at $99. Then I've seen it go up to $149. So I don't know what the big rush was that there was a change. But again, if you want to come in other words, if you say, hey, I really want to get serious about this, I think Kimmy's recommendation is definitely a good way to go because you can build on the VKBs over time. Where once again, if you buy the Thrustmaster, they'll get you through. And like Kimmy said, they're reliable, they're good, but eventually you're going to probably want to move up and grade up to it. So, again, this comes down to your budget, right? What's your budget? How much money are you willing to spend? We just want to make sure that you do a wise purchase because there have been people who bought a stick and said, I should have spent the extra $50. I should have spent the extra $60 to get better playability out of a particular peripheral,
I'm always going to stick with the T16,000 because it gets the job done for my need. I don't need the extra button. I don't need the extra headache of trying to remember what the button's doing and trying to hit the right button when I'm trying to do something. Like I probably self-destruct by accident just by hitting the wrong button or something like that. But it's simple for me. I mean, I don't want to say it's generic, but a lot of people have them. If you have a problem with it, you can probably get support from it within the Star Citizen community because everyone used it at one point probably. So yeah.
Here's some points.
Just have that extra cash ready to change them out.
Yeah.
But with that said, Griff, you said build. Now with the VKBs, you actually can go inside and you can change and adjust those springs. They give you a bunch of different spring tensions. If you want it less tense or heavily tense, you can change it. And a lot of the inside parts are metal from the VKB. Now, they're not going to hold your hands as far as like tutorials or guide you step by 1, 2, 3. Now, they do have online and a dedicated YouTube channel to how to upgrade and change things and, change the springs and stuff like that. But yeah, the build is superior.
It's solid.
You buy it once, you're done.
Yep. Good point. All right, let's do our next giveaway, gang. All right, exclamation HCS if you guys are ready. Yeah, hopefully you won't come up again. Your invisible thing keeps popping up here. All right.
If I do win, I definitely want Marina Sirtis.
Okay. All right, here we go. 3. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, let me read a couple comments here because I scrolled way up and I want to see who wins. Radagast says prices for Thrustmaster products are outrageous now. Better to check out the VKB NXT. Let's see. Nubifier says Microsoft Flight Simulator and the SpaceUp thing has juiced the prices, and COVID has also got people playing games more. So there's some other factors here that they mentioned about why these prices have gotten where they are.
Supply and demand.
Absolutely. Raging Cajun, thank you for the follow, and CSK32 below, thank you for the follow as well. Okay, let's go ahead and punch it. Parapox owner, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you. All right, here we go.
Raging Cajun.
Yep, 3, 2, 1, and boom. Who do we get this time? Parapox owner. Holy smoke, Parapox, you win an HPCS voice pack. Congratulations.
Right
Congratulations. That's what happens when you follow. You win. I wish that was the case. But thank you. Thank you for the follow. And there you go, Parapox. The good fortune has smiled on you. Please let fastcart know. Go to visit the HCS site if there's a particular voice pack that you're interested in. Put that in for fastcart. Let him know. Also send it to soulcitizens@gmail, and we will. We're gonna say
you can just whisper it to me and Discord on Twitch chat.
I will, just in case.
I'm open. Just make sure you tell me what pack you want and the email you wanted to send that.
Absolutely.
That'd be
so
great.
Can we say that what just happened was a parapox?
A parapox. Okay.
Pick up my bad habit.
I know.
Yeah, that's definitely a bad habit.
And that's not enough to be proud of.
All right, let's go to the next item here. We're still talking about these sticks. Let's talk about moving up in our sticks here. We started out looking at the Thrustmaster. Now we've shifted to a different one, and this one is much more familiar to a lot of the players. This is kind of like that in the past. This has been one of the step ups, and it's been moving to sticks like this, the X56. Much more solid build. It's been interesting to me because back in the day, for those of you all who remember the big flight sims, the Warthog was the big one for everybody went for, right? But the Warthog went for about $500, and it was a huge jump for people to go from. People went from like spending $75, $100 for a stick to 500. It was a huge jump. And then finally they started stepping it down and coming up with what was considered more mid-grade type sticks like this one.
Mark.
Exactly, around $250. Kimmy, did you ever have one of these, X52, X56, any of these at all?
I had its predecessor, the X55. They jumped ship and went to Logitech. But overall, I thought, it was sold as the quintessential Star Citizen stick at the time. And it now to its point, right? I still use the throttle. But I am waiting for the VKB to have theirs, and then I'm going to retire this X55. So that might be a part of a giveaway in future. Because look, one thing I can tell you, and we're looking at, even though its predecessor was SciTech and now it's Logitech, it's essentially almost the same stick except for the different color design and everything. But if you're looking at it from the picture, we're looking at it from the screenshot you gave us, Griff. I use the limiter and the throttle, or acceleration and the limiter in Star Citizen. I had those split. I actually split the throttle. And so on the far left, so that's my 0 to 100%. Pull it back, 0, forward, 100. And the one that's on the right, that's the speed limiter where you set it to the knob that says, that Chris describes as SCM, Space Combat Maneuverability. I had those set like that, and I love it. But then under that, the flip switches at the bottom, I set up, when I flip them towards me, it all deals with my mining, activating the mining laser, changing the mining laser, and flipping it to the top. It's all scanning, and then the dial, I have it set for the throttle laser intensity. So left lower than, to the right greater than. Okay. So it's very intuitive for me. But again, at the end of the day, once that VKB comes in, I'm done.
Okay. Fastcart?
Yeah, I have to mess with. I have to mess with you real quick because you're pointing at the screen saying, "Oh, these buttons. You see these buttons right here? Like we can see what you're pointing to on the screen." But we get what you're talking about. Thank you.
That's a
Oh,
good
you don't
point.
see it, Fastcart? Oh man, chat. I'm talking to chat.
All right, chat.
sees it.
Chat,
I ain't paying you no mind, Fastcart. Griff, don't jump in with him. Don't jump in with him.
I'm
man.
not.
It's not worth it.
I'm not. Chat. Don't forget exclamation HCS. We're giving away another voice pack in a couple of minutes. Exclamation HCS if you'd like a HCS voice pack. And don't forget at the end of the show we're going to give away a 500 gigabyte Samsung SSD. Mad Style, thank you again for your clockwork giving another 500 bits. Thank you, Mad Style, as always.
I want to put a ding on this, and I want chat to be aware of this. One thing negative I've heard about with that stick, the little thumb hat switch, the analog stick.
The one that you're pointing to again.
Yeah.
They're little knobs. They look like little teeny knobs. They give you problems. They will fail really quick. So be aware. I want you to be aware of that before you make that deep dive on that purchase. So
again,
take it with a grain of salt.
And that's why we tell you guys to check reviews. And again, some sticks, I have to say this too, to Kimmy's point. Some of these are based upon your wear, how much wear you put on them. There are some people who are brutal on sticks. I mean, they beat them up basically, and they literally have to buy. That's one of the reasons why having the mechanical ones that have the springs and metal are better for that type of player. There are other people who aren't so hard on the peripheral, and so they may get more life out of it. I've known people to say they've bought one of these and had to send them back in 2-3 times within a year or two. Other people say they've had them for 3 years and never had a problem with them. So a lot of it is based upon how you play, all types of things that can affect how these sticks operate. I know it's kind of scary because you say you pay $200, $300 for these things. I shouldn't be having these problems. But again, this is a tech that has always had problems. They've gotten better. They've gotten better over the last few years. But any of you guys who remember when these things first came out, man, people were they looked great. People got excited about them, but they were having a lot of problems with them. Go ahead, Fastcart.
Thank you, Mad Wolf.
I just want to say thank you for the 100 bits, Mad Wolf. Also, Peripherals, the owner, said, guys, I realize the need the software for that pack. I'm not sure if I'm ready to get that. Please let someone that will more enjoy to get it.
Wow.
So yes, you do need the base voice attack in order to use the ACS voice pack. So if you don't have that, it may not work. I was surprised that they increased the price. It used to be $10, now it's $15. So I would think maybe they included the base voice attack, but I guess they don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. So by the way, yes, you have to have, I'm sorry we didn't announce this earlier. We assumed that you already knew this, but you have to have voice attack in order to use HCS voice pack. All HCS voice pack does is replace the voice in voice attack, and it gives you a certain character sound. So if you want somebody who talks like Doctor Who or like William Shatner or Mr. Spock, or you want a British female voice talking to you when you're playing Star Citizen, and you say, for example, lock torpedoes, you'll get a response saying, missile locked. You'll get things like that. And voice attack is just another way of being able to have greater immersion into Star Citizen. And it frees up your hands because, as you guys know, there are a lot of controls in Star Citizen. And so if you don't want to have a 21 button keypad and a 17 button mouse, you can use voice attack and do all those great things too. We're gonna say Fastcart.
Dr. Muter says you can use the voice pack with the free voice attack. I don't know about the free one. I haven't. I paid for voice attack, but if they have the free one, maybe you can just stick around with it.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's a good question. Thank you guys so much for the bits. Dark Knight 75. Hey, thank you for the 300 bits. Fullback. Thank you for the 100 the bits. Thank you guys so much. Because of what you guys are giving, this is why we're able to do this giveaway and all of our giveaways, because we turn everything right back around and give it to you guys. We really appreciate your support. So let's look at the big granddaddy here. Let's move from the good old X56. We're going to make Kimmy smile for a minute here. And this is when we start getting into you start getting into the higher end sticks. And this is where you start spending money. And Kimmy's kind of priced out how much money people can spend. There's two manufacturers, the major manufacturers that are putting out the sticks right now, and that's VKB and Verbal. And I'm only showing one right now because they're basically these are just the higher end sticks. Kimmy, what can people look at spending when you start talking about buying setups like this? What are we talking about dollar wise?
Man, you're talking about 1,500 though, right there, Griff.
Mm-hmm.
Between the three, easily 1,500 without tax.
Okay. And I think one of the issues with these are all made over in Europe, so there's a shipping. You have to get them shipped. There's a lot involved with going to this level, right? In China, okay.
Yes.
Now you're using VKB, correct?
Yes, I am VKB all the way. One of the reasons at the time, I tried to go for the Virpals, and it said, credit card company said, "Oh, this area is Belarus, and we are not going to do business with Belarus. We're not going to compromise the card." Basically, it was unsafe to send funds over there, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" So I backed away. But since then, they do things through PayPal.
Okay.
I think they kind of fixed that.
Okay.
But the thing is, a lot of people are they find these a very popular stick. But when I initially looked at the inside build, it was a hot mess looking at the internals of it compared to the VKB. But since then, again, give credit to where credit's due. Virpal has cleaned it up, and the thing is, on their production side, they are really dialed in on their productions and of creating new product. Especially, they have another generation, for example, of the throttle. So they make left-right joysticks for if you want to do dual stick for the same type of stick. So yeah, they're really good. It's basically 1 and 1A. It's just a preference thing. VKB is a little slower with their production. They don't really get into the fan base pushing things. But when it's ready, it's ready. When you get it, it's a high quality build. But I mean, both are great. There's a lot of flexibility when you change out the springs, and then that's such. Going from a 10 to a 40 spring tension. So those options are there. And when you talk about wear and tear, these are built for it. So basically, you buy this once, you're done. You're not going to buy any more sticks or anything unless you just want to change them out just for style.
And that's one of the things about these sticks, by the way, they're customizable. You can change certain elements of the ships to make it so the sticks to make them fit for you. And they have a variety of different ones too. Some of them have a few features, some of them are multi-featured. And again, like Kimmy said, the price range can go as whatever your budget is, whatever you want to spend, it'll be there, but the quality is what people are paying for. And for people who are really into flight sims, and we want to again mention this isn't just for Star Citizen. This is when you're really into flight sims.
DCS World.
Most of the people who are into PvP combat, this is the type of thing that they really start moving towards, so they can get the best precision and accuracy when playing any type of flight sim. If you're like me, who's going to be flying a Hull C, am I going to worry about spending $1,500? I doubt it. But for people who are into the battles and into org PvP, this may be the thing that they graduate into and decide it's an investment. True enough, it is an investment. These joysticks and throttles right now cost as much as some people's rigs. So, take into consideration what the expenses are.
Here's the other component.
I was going to say, you know how many ships I can buy for $1,500?
How many Auroras? Auroras you could buy? Yeah, you can buy plenty of Auroras.
It's up to the gamers, right? But here's the main two things. Here's the thing, guys. If you're interested, guys and ladies, if you're interested in getting this, you want to make sure you're clear in the terminology. When you're talking about you want to purchase a grip, that's just the top component. Now, when you're talking about a base, that's based upon if it's a tabletop or if you're going to put it into a sim pit. Like Eladoc mentioned, like he talked about a tall base. There's actual handles where, when we're talking about ergonomics, as we said earlier, you don't want to sit down. Some people, like, for example, one of the devs at Cloud Imperium, he used to stream a lot, Bear Red. He was at, some of you who went to CitizenCon met him, but I used to watch his streams all the time. But he's got his rig set up, it's vertical, but the sticks are tall, so it will allow him to stand while he's doing it. And another person in chat, Nubifier, he has his set up that way. He can stand, so you have different bases that are interchangeable. So if you're sitting down, you're going to get the tabletop version of the base and grip. But yeah, you can change them out, customize them to do whatever you want in that regard.
Yep. Go fast cart.
I'm looking for math dollar request, but just want to give a shout out to Nubifier. He actually had the ACS voice pack called Phoenix. So if you want to listen to that, check him out.
You said Phoenix?
I believe, yeah.
Yep.
Performed by Nubifier. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, that is good stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Big Flight Sim stuff. Verpals. LDoc says Verpals handles are larger per TDL. Who used both and runs Verpals. Okay. And then Rabahagri says, don't forget the desk and chair mounts for the sticks and throttles. Definitely, Rob, a good point. These are usually designed to be mounted in some form. And Kimmy, I'm glad you mentioned about the fact that these type of sticks are assembled. When you buy the 1600, just buy the 1600. That's it. With these, you can choose the type of base, you can choose the type of grip, and yes. So you can kind of custom build this stick to your specifications. And again, that's one of the reasons why they cost a little bit more. And these are all handmade. My understanding is that customer support is good, but shipping is always an issue because
it takes some time.
It takes time. So, kind of be prepared for that and understand that that's a factor. But I don't hear too many complaints about I hear that when there's something that does go wrong, it costs money to ship it to them and back, but they respond, they take care of it, they fix it. I mean, you're paying for that level of quality when you move into this type of stick. Okay,
Verpals are back ordered.
Yeah, they are.
Really,
yeah, that's the other thing too. They're back order. Yeah, because of the demand. Absolutely. Let's do another giveaway. We are at that point, believe it or not. Is this our third one? I don't know which one this is now. How many have we done so far, Fast Cart?
The third one, but I think the last one is going doesn't want to stop that one, so he's probably going to redo that one.
Okay, all right. So let's again, guys, exclamation point HCS, exclamation point HCS. If you'd like to get your choice of an HCX voice pack, it'll be your choice, whichever one you want. That's the one we're going to get for you. So we're going to do that. And let's see how many people we got here. All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and boom.
Ops
Chief. All right,
man.
Ops Chief, you win one, and you get a card. Yeah, you get one. He says it's rigged. Okay.
In your favor, right?
It's rigged. Okay. All right. Ops Chief, let me ask you a question. Did you exclamation point to get in here? I'm just curious because the computer's telling me one thing, and he's my buddy, so he's going to tell me if he did. Okay, he said he did. All right, cool. All right.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that this. I told you the screen is different now on Nightbot, so I want to make sure it's doing the right thing. Okay, so we'll get Ops Chief on that. Okay, let's move on to the next item. Now, this one is the one that kind of ties in the stuff with HCS. And this gets into voice attack. Are all three? Are you using? Well, I know you're using voice attack, right, Fast Cart?
Yep.
And how's voice attack helped you as far as playing?
For me, I like to keep my hand on my joystick. I don't like to switch between joystick keyboard. I try to do it as little as I can. So HCX voice attack in particular lets me just control the velocity and control other functions that you normally take your hand off the joystick to use the keyboard for, and I just use my voice for it instead. I have a clip from a YouTube video that I made that give you a demonstration of me trying to race using ACS, not the ACS, but just voice tech in general, which is, I'll bring it up, but yes. In addition to that, it's just really handy, no pun intended, to just make life easier, especially if you're a person with.
Okay, very cool. Fist to face, nice. Thank you, man. We see you got to run. Thanks for hanging out with us, and good. Congratulations, again, congratulations on your Idris event today. I heard you guys had a great time, and I got to check it out for a little bit, so it looked like a good time.
There's another run next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, cool. Kimmy, are you using voice attack or no?
I am not.
Okay.
I kind of like the fact that we can incorporate all these different aspects or these different features in game. So I'm kind of more on the old school mode with that, of learning different, learning the button layouts and
Right.
stuff such as that. So when I win, if I win or lose, if I win, it's based on nothing really enhancing anything or something may fail. I'm more of a it's an old school way of doing it for me. But
No,
yeah, I do like that idea of voice attack, especially with the fact that Star Citizen isn't finished yet. It's not a game, it's an alpha, right? And it's still developing, and we've seen over the years how the controls configurations have changed, and they're just adding more things, or they're trying to change and minimize things as much as possible, but it's going to continue to build and get more complex because that's just the nature of this type of game. So it's good to see that voice attack can be used to that degree. I may even have to break down and use it at some point because so many things are coming into the game.
Yeah. I think that, and I want to say something. Let me say this real quick. Kimmy said something that he said two statements. He said, when we play the game, and then he said, it's not a game. And I want to be careful when we say that, because I think the community understands you when you say that, but people who aren't into this can get the wrong impression. And what we mean by that is that we know it's not a completed game. We do, we do look at it as a game. So we don't want you to think that we don't think of it as a game, but we also acknowledge the fact that people, when they hear a game, their assumption is that, oh, it's finished, it's ready to go. And so Kimmy's saying, there's this constant development that we have to keep in mind in relation to the alpha aspect of it when we're working on this.
Yes.
Let me say this about the voice attack for me. Kimmy, I think what you described as somebody who wants to be much more tactile, right? They like feeling the buttons. They like that immediate control, feeling it, the control that comes from the physicality. And that's nothing wrong with that. For me, voice attack became more of, I was picturing the Star Trek aspect of speaking to a computer and a computer responding to me. So it had more to do with that for me. For other people like fastcart, it helps him in the sense of his disability be able to enjoy all the features of the game where there may be some limitations. So everybody, all these things that we're showing you guys again today is all based upon your way of playing the game. You will see some people who have these $40,000 sim pits. They're not using voice attack because they want that tactile, physical dynamic of it. Other people may say, hey, I only got a regular plain old mouse with no side buttons and a keyboard. And it's frustrating for me to call up all these commands. But if I use voice attack just to say missile lock or to say unlock door, that makes my immersion feel better. So again, voice attack has been a real big thing for people in Star Citizen. For those people who want a different aspect, they like that computer to talk to. I mean, voice attack is so cool with the HCS patch.
Feature, right?
Yeah, you can ask it like, tell me about an Aurora, and it'll tell you about an Aurora ship, or you can ask about a constellation. It'll tell you about a constellation.
Oh, really?
It does all types of stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Fastcart. What were you going to say?
Just that part, especially if you get the ACS voice pack, or you get the more extensive one, you can ask about nebula, constellation, a whole lot of stuff. They have their own encyclopedia built within the voice pack. Also, I wanted to say that ACS voice pack is really good because they update the pack every 6 months or a year or whatever, depending on different patches for Star Citizen. They probably do the same for Elite Dangerous. But I like every year or whatever, I bought the midnight one, the one that had Tom Baker from Doctor Who, and I bought that in 2016. Every year, without fail, they say, "Oh, this has been updated. Get the updated version." And blah blah blah, and I get it, and it's great. So I love the support for HCS voice attack. And also, if you can probably go on Reddit and find your own profile, or find a profile that suits you better if you're not knocking the standard one to come with voice chat or a particular pack that you bought. So if you like, you can also learn how to make a command for yourself to do different things, and I think that's a great aspect also.
Which is one of the things that I do with it, because it comes with pre-made statements, right? Like you could say, on my mark, start quantum drive. and you'll hear it say, you know, do it, and it'll say mark, and it'll kick it off for you. It'll right, it will do it, right? But here's the problem with that, is that you have to memorize their commands, right? And there are a lot of commands, trust me, a lot. Over the years it has grown. In the beginning it was kind of straightforward stuff, right? Missile lock, missile launch, open door, things like that. But now it's gotten to the point where you can even put in multiple commands. So I want to mention what fastcart was just saying. You can also customize, even though you can use other people's profiles, and that's cool. For me, it's kind of like when I program out my throttle, I have to create my own thing because it has to be intuitive for me to play. And when I'm speaking to voice attack or to HCS, I also am intuitive about that. There may be certain things that I might say, lift off. And when I say lift off, not only does it lift off, it raises the landing gear, it puts me 60 meters above the pad and starts moving me forward. It does 3 different things just by me saying lift off. So you can program those, and it takes time, mind you. It is extremely frustrating. Let me say this. I spent 2 days programming that sucker about 1.5 years ago. Then when the new big patch came in and they changed all the key bindings, I was about ready to jump out the window and commit suicide. I said, there's no way I'm doing this again. And I didn't mess with voice attack again until last week. Yes, when I started getting ready for this show last week, I went back and revisited it and started getting back into it again because my mind was not there. For those of you all who have stick and throttle, y'all know what I'm talking about. When they changed all them key bindings, you were like, oh, my profile, you go nuts. So voice attack is that same way, mind you. You do have to kind of adjust. Now, to fastcart's point, they do updates, and when they do updates, for the most part, they will match up eventually with what CIG has put out because they make a voice pack specifically for Star Citizen. Make sure you get the Star Citizen one, not the Elite Dangerous one. Make sure you
not the Elite Dangerous one.
Make sure you get the one. Back in the day, they used to give you both. They used to include Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous, but now they are separate packs, if I'm not mistaken, when you buy them now. Okay. Fastcart, you gonna say something?
And also, take your time when you're trying to teach your computer how to recognize your voice. Because one of the frustrating part is this, like, if you check on the video that I posted, I say maybe 25% to change my velocity to 25%, or I have to say 3/4 speed to change my velocity to 75%, instead of saying 75%, because sometimes the computer won't recognize. If I say 75%, it'll think I say 25%. So I have to make the distinction in my head to make sure I get the right command through. So it takes time to get it right, get it like you want it, and memorize it and stuff like that. But once you do it, it's great.
So a good environment to practice that fastcart is Arena Commander. So you don't have any
commander and wave tracks.
Yeah. L-Doc says, I run Vasco, Kate, and Celeste. Boy, he's got all the women on his ship talking to him. Holy smoke. Well, I think Vasco's the guy, but I know Kate and Celeste are. Yeah, but those are very cool. I use Alex. Alex is the one that I use, and I really like Alex a lot. Let's jump to the next one. I know that this
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, really. All right, here's one that a lot of you guys are familiar with and are using, and that is Game Glass, right? There's Kimmy. Kimmy, pull it back a little bit. Kimmy is a little bit too close. It was there for a second. There you go. Kimmy's got it right there on his pad. Yep, we can see it. Yep.
Not off kilter?
Nope, it's good. Let's talk about Game Glass a little bit. This is another tool that we've had some folks that were citizen backers who thought about the idea of creating some type of very intuitive and flexible tool to be able to access the commands in Star Citizen by using some type of pad. Usually most folks, like Kimmy has, use usually something that's like a mini. They won't use like a full-size 10-inch Apple pad, but you could use something as simple as an Amazon pad or an Apple or whatever, and you basically download it. He's got double ones right there, and you can use it to do the controls on your ship. You can use them. They have different ones. I forget what they call the modules. What's the term they use for the modules? Does anybody remember?
They're
I don't remember.
I forget what the term is. Shards. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you, shards.
And I also want to say,
Star
guys, I'm gonna do a little plug. If you go to Game Glass and this shard that you're looking at, or the one that you're looking at in chat, the screenshot that Griff put up, those are free. Mm-hmm. That comes with no purchase or anything, signing up and everything. And if you go to get the full pack, ask for Andy Lee, tell him Kimmy65 sent you, he'll cut you a discount.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's my guy over he's across the pond, Andy Lee.
And to everybody's point, he didn't see the point. It depends on the player or preference. Some people like immersion. Say that word a lot tonight. If you have it's more immersive for someone who has a game glass, you push the button to command or whatever on that screen, than it is to push like a analog switch or whatever. It feels more futuristic.
Well, it's bringing your UI into the game and into your desktop.
Yeah, I know one of the shards is for mining in specific, and for people who want to be able to have the touch sensitivity and the tactile sensitivity, and all of the commands for mining are all in that one space, then that's what they want to be able to use. So again, everybody utilizes different tools. Some people, like I said, some people don't need to use voice attack. They prefer the more tactile feel of using, the joysticks and the thrust. Some people like Kimmy, who's into the joysticks, right? They do dual sticks. Everybody's going to have their way of playing the game. And the question is, what makes you feel immersed and gives you control in the game? Star Citizen has a lot of features in it. And quite often, I remember for the longest time, I was trying to remember what the button was for being able to look behind me. I could not. I was like, well, what the heck is it? But eventually, I was able to say, look behind, and and it did it for me, without having to take my hands off of a joystick or a keyboard or a mouse. So this is another tool, Game Glass. And again, this was created by folks that were backers of Star Citizen. It's become very popular, been adopted by a lot of the players, inexpensive to get into. But for some people, this tactile feel of being able to not mess with their keyboard, but be able to just touch a screen and be able to bring up things and do things is very exciting for a lot of the players. Okay, let's do another. Go ahead.
Real quick, the thing that really pulled me in to say this was worth it, and I got in the very beginning, and I got the lifetime membership, so I'm in. But what really pulled me into this was the social module, the emotes that they have in this, and the other aspect of Game Glass that Andy said, that as you go further in with your subscription, as Star Citizen develops more of the functional career gameplays, you're going to have the shards that will parallel that. So there's where your value for getting this will come in. So basically, when we get salvage, we're going to have a shard for salvage. We're going to have a shard for medical. So as you're able to look at these different shards going down the line, and then, for people who are fully vested into Star Citizen, you may want to use that shard for a particular career if you're not really adept at that particular career. It's something that will assist you. So I saw really good value in it. And it's fun. And if you got freaking tablets laying around or smartphones laying around, put it to use.
Yep.
And again, this shard that we're looking at right here is free. So, initially you will have a use for the peripherals laying around.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very cool point. Let's see. Let's do another giveaway. Let's do another one. Yeah. For those of you who want to jump in, let's see. We want to do, let's see. That was Ops Chief there. Cancel that one. All right. We're going to do !HCS. !HCS if you're interested in getting a voice pack. And we're going to do that in just a couple seconds here. Let's see.
Back to the gadget.
How'd you know that? You knew exactly what it was.
All right.
Exclamation point. All right. Everybody gonna get in. We're gonna do this in about 10 seconds.
Oh yeah.
All righty. We got them coming in. Matt Wolf's in there. All right. Ops Chief says good luck. Got Rob in there. All right, here we go. On the count of 3, 2, 1, boom. Who we got there? L-Doc.
Oh my gosh. Rigged.
L-Doc. We got a couple more of these to go, guys. We got a couple more to go, so don't hang around.
Congrats,
we got that.
L-Doc.
And we've still got the SSD to give away for tonight, too. So,
oh my gosh.
Absolutely. L-Doc, make sure that you... L-Doc says rigged.
All
right, make sure that you... Oh, Mad Style. Oh my God. Thank you, Mad
Style. Oh my gosh, dude. Man. You're a boss.
Jeez, oh Pete. All right.
Mad Style is a boss.
Yeah. Don't forget, L-Doc, to send the information to fastcart, and which HCX pack you want, and your
And
email
address.
Yes, please send that to him. Okay, let's move on to the next item here. We're almost done, guys. We got 2 more items to cover, and we're done for the night. For those of you who are into this moves into a whole different dimension of enjoying Star Citizen. This was one of the big first peripherals, I think, that was a third-party peripheral that people got really excited about, and that was Track IR for the people who are into head tracking. This came out a few years back. I don't even remember how long ago it was now.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been like, yeah, it's got to be at least 5 years, I would think.
2016.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. This was very popular when it came out, and we saw it progress over time. This allows you to, if those of you who don't know what Track IR is, it's basically a tool that you mount on, is it on your hat or head? I can't remember. Back in the day it was on a hat, wasn't it? Back in the day.
It's like a headphone almost.
Right, it looks like a headphone now, but back in the day it used to go on like a hat, right? And
a hat.
what it did was track your head. If you looked to the left and right, your vision would change. Mind you, it wasn't for ship control, it was for viewing and looking around. And it gave you a much more immersive feel when it came down to playing Star Citizen. And a lot of people still use Track IR, very popular. I remember it was really expensive when it first came out. I don't know what it goes for now price-wise.
I remember it was like $250, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty expensive, like a couple $100, I remember. But for people who are really into... I still think
different tiers.
Yeah, I still think there were people who were into this, were people who were PvP combat people back when it first came out. I think they were the ones who really took advantage of using this. It wasn't really for sightseeing as much. I think people wanted to be able to see when they were in combat, fighter combat with folk. And so it was and it still is popular. Many people are still using it. My friend Nihilus, he swears by his, he uses his, he likes it a lot. But head tracking is a feature that is built into Star Citizen, and a lot of people use it. Fastcart, do you use it? $149 now? Thanks, Kimmy.
$149.95, and then the natural point Track IR is $164.95.
Okay, cool.
Oh, they're clicking price now.
Yeah,
Now,
they are close.
I don't use these because with my condition, I move around a lot. I know you can set the sensitivity. I know you can do all that, but it's like for looking around and stuff like that. I don't think I really need something like that. If it was something like maybe like look at something and activate it. That may work for me if possible, but as far as looking around and stuff, I'm not interested in it.
Okay, yeah. Radagast says, I use the head tracking with FOIP and it works great. And that's one of the things that is nice about these now, is that the technology on these has gotten so good now, where they, there's no issue with them. When you use them, they work. They're not a gimmick. They definitely enhance immersion in the game. Kenny, what about you? Are you using Track IR? Or have you ever used it? I know you're not using it now, but have you ever used Track IR or no?
I was considering it, but I have an alternative to that though.
Okay, all right. So you didn't use it. I never used it either. For me, there was something, and I hate to say this, it was something obtrusive, and this was the earlier version of it, when you used to have to put a hat on and wear it like that. There was something about that I just never. Something just didn't grab me about it, and I never got into it. And then of course later they did change it, and so now it's a whole entirely different tool now, which is really cool. Radagast says, I use head tracking, works great, and it's free. Well, you need a webcam. Oh yeah, okay, he's talking about for FOIP.
That's the other thing. We haven't talked about webcam. That's something we haven't.
I missed that. I missed that. Let's
talk about that briefly.
We will. Let's talk about that after the next item, because we'll close out on the webcams then and talk about why they're important to Star Citizen. So those of you who use Track IR, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're loving it, because head tracking is a very cool thing. Do you need it? No. It's just another tool to make you immersive. That's about it. Now, let me warn you about head tracking.
My drink.
Yeah. Oh, there's another gin and juice going down right now. Here's the deal about head tracking. Head tracking for some people can be difficult. Now, Fastcart mentioned about it because of his disability and movement. He's worried about accuracy and having to see too much movement. But there are some people who use these tools, and literally, it's almost like when people use VR, that there's the motion sickness kicks in. And so I would say, you can adjust them so that they're less sensitive, but there are some people, no matter what they do, the motion thing can really mess with them. Kind of keep in mind that when you're using head tracking, let's say you're flying, and this is Kimmy, you might have had the same issue, because I had to get used to it. When you're flying and you decide to look to the left all of a sudden, if you've been used to the way Star Citizen works normally, you automatically think you're turning left too. There's a feeling of thinking you're turning. You're not. You're still going straight.
Yeah.
It's just that your view is changing. So you have to get used to that. Or if you inadvertently bump or do something weird, you see this abrupt movement and you might think, oh, my ship abruptly moved, but that's not the case. It's just your view moved. So thank you, L-Doc.
Into you.
Yeah, right. So L-Doc said it here. L-Doc says it takes a moment. It does. It takes a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to it, it becomes second nature to you. Go, Kimmy.
I think to your point, you bring something that's like, wow, really? You know, that's I didn't see that, Griff. And to your point, what happens to me in that regard? It's not so much of I'm actually turning, but it's more of me, getting back on point to say, am I pointing straight ahead, right? And I'm overcompensating to say, okay, where am I?
Yep.
As opposed to, I know that I'm looking and I'm panning and I don't get that sensation. So it's interesting that, this device give different impressions to individuals. So that's an eye opener for me. But for me, it's when I come back, I'm like, okay, where am I lined up? Where is it? What is it?
Absolutely.
Don't you clip me, fastcart.
Absolutely.
Don't you clip me. You son of a gun.
and that takes us. Well, let's see, Admiral Kusin.
Look at him. He's looking down.
I know. Admiral.
See, I know you.
All right. So Dark Knight says here Dark Knight says it's a great alternative to VR, and it is. I would say that this is like the next step to VR in the sense of immersion. And since we don't have VR, this is a great alternative to it. Admiral Kusanagi says, unless you have a huge curved monitor, they don't make any sense. Wait. I think his point is well made under certain condition. If I turn my head to the left, my head to the left, my eyes and my head have to compensate unnaturally to real life. This isn't enough screen. Now that is the point, because that's what I was going to say. Admiral, on my screen, because it's a 32-inch and it's 1.5 feet from me, when I turn left and right, I don't get that feeling of going off the edge. I would agree with you. If you've got a 27 or smaller and your distance is there, you're gonna not feel that feeling of a panoramic feel, because when you do turn to the left, instead of looking at your screen, you're looking at the wall, right? So I do agree that size of the screen can have a great impact on how immersive it feels. I will agree with you on that.
Remember, Kimmy has a 48-inch monitor or TV, so he's like, fills his vision.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dark Knight says especially only 2 feet from a 27-inch monitor, right? So depending on the size of your monitor, it will have an impact if you're using a device like this. Now, Kimmy and I both have this device, the Tobii. Now, the Tobii is not only a head tracker, it's an eye tracker. Now, this adds another level of something to get used to, because you can keep your head straight and just move your eyeballs. And it will shift with you. The good thing is that when you use your eyes, it doesn't move as drastically. So let's say that if you just want to do something as simple as look to the left to see how many missiles you have or how much fuel you have, it just moves very slowly. Versus if you move your head, the movement is much more drastic. But it still takes a little bit of coordination to get used to it, because like Kimmy said, if you look off far to the left and you swing back, hopefully your eyeballs are looking forward too, because if your eyeballs are still looking left and your head goes straight, it will track your eyes. So it does take a little bit. Kimmy, how did you like this as far as the packaging, the setup? What did you think about Tobii's piece there? Because I thought it was amazing how easy it was to do their thing.
And I tell you, from my personal experience, I'm going to say, Admiral, a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for fastcart. So to the extent they are telling the truth to you guys, they're not lying to you, but there's exceptions in that statement. And again, a 48-inch monitor has that real estate to give you that VR-like experience. I can see it. I can say that from experience. So yeah, they make good points. To what Griff is saying, Griff, I cannot say enough about these guys. They're based in Switzerland. It only took 3 days. Fastcart is laughing. It only took 3 days to get here.
It got fast, right? It shipped fast.
3 days. And here's another thing I thought was amazing, and this is something rare. Customer service. I said to them, I need the aperture and for a curve monitor, as well as a cable extension.
Mm-hmm.
And they got my information and they sent that free of charge. But guess what? In the package itself, the cable was long enough from the back of the monitor to the PC, so I didn't really need it.
Yep.
And then
How much is this price?
It's normally $225 if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and it was
they had a
at
sale.
the time it was a 10% discount through Star Citizen.
Right.
Even though Amazon sells it, I would say, guys, if you're going to decide on it, go through Star Citizen because the devs will get credit for it. Please do that. It's they work hard, and I would say go through the devs to get it, as opposed to just Amazon.
Right. Originally, they had, the sale went from what Kimmy was it with up to like January 8th, so the sale's over with now.
Yeah, the sale's over with.
But there was a 10% because I got it came out to like 202 when I got mine.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an investment, but I spent a lot of time watching several people who did reviews on it. Obsidian Ant did a really good view on it, and the one that really convinced me was oh God, what's the man's name? It just flew out of my head. The architect. What's the Morphologist. Morphologist did an incredible video where he showed how he was able to use it outside his ship to do cinematic shooting. And if you guys haven't had a chance to look at it, check out his video on the Toby. It shows you a whole nother dimension of using this as a tool. I want to mention something that Ops Chief said too. He says, don't forget that when you lean forward and back even, you see the difference inside of your ship, because you can look down at your feet. I mean, literally, when you lean forward, you move closer to the items on the screen. So the
user interface.
It is amazing, this device. Yeah. It is an investment, gang. Zooms in. $200, no small change. But if you want a different level of immersion that brings you closer to VR, I would recommend it. It's a very cool item. If you're into motion sickness, don't get it.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Oh yeah. And I want to add this to it. Again, I'm going to tell the truth about the product, but here's the one thing is, if you can set it to 270 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you, or let's say you're on chat or something, you're playing, and then you go off kilter and you look off to the side, it can go off kilter a little bit. But here's what I did in order to reset it. So in the settings, when you say, do you want it enabled for like when you interact with user interfaces or your mobiGlass, you say no. So what happens when you go to your mobiGlass, you go to the kiosk, it goes to that flat screen,
right.
Basically, almost a 2D view, which is good. But then while it's in that state, it's recalibrating. And so in essence, if you're walking down the hallway, you're running down the hallway, and then someone calls you in the house, or you look over and you see your character's running like he should have had a V8, you just hit F1 and then it will recalibrate and you're back to where you are. So I want to point that out with the Toby. There's a way out with this device, but yeah, it's fully immersive. The FPS experience is greatly enhanced. When I went into to do the drug lab mission, where for me it was like a lot of anxiety because I had to use my mouse to pan, and then from there you're panning with your mouse, and now you're after panning and you got to focus on an enemy to shoot them. So it's a lot of anxiety with that. It's a 2-component thing. But with the Toby, I'm moving forward and I'm using my eye and my head to look over and, in those areas, and I just fire off just like that. And I felt like Batman going in there, man. I took care of business by myself.
All right, so let me say this about
You're not Batman.
Yeah, let me say this about what
Batman.
Let me say this about what Kimmy said too. One of the great features about this tool is it has a tremendous amount of flexibility on your settings and how you can set it. For Kimmy, he was mentioning about the FPS side of it. There are a lot of people who like that because you can lean forward, you can look around corners without having to do keystrokes. For some people, they get sick running because of this new. It's a different type of feel. And the great thing is you can turn that feature off. Kimmy mentioned it earlier. One of the things that a lot of people do, and I agree with you 100%, Kimmy, when you look at your mobiGlass, you want to turn that feature off because literally any movement, it jiggles around.
Yes.
But you want that screen to come up nice and standard so you can click on things that you need to. Otherwise, the problem is when those things are moving and you're trying to click on them, your mouse is chasing them and it becomes a real issue. So we would recommend that turn off the movement feature when you're doing things like looking at a Mobi glass, definitely for that. And again, even if for FPS, if you find that when you're doing FPS, it's too much for you, you have the ability to turn off that feature when you're doing FPS. Fastcart, go ahead, then we're going to get to cameras.
Rapping Hagrid is hoping that we'll have a giveaway for Toby, so he's already pre-entered for that.
That would be nice, Rob. Our giving has not reached that stage yet, but hopefully it will. Hopefully it will be. If you know what, if we had took all the money that was turned in from the last month, we could have bought a Toby. We actually had. Wow. You guys did such a great job over the last 30 days that we actually would have had enough for a Toby, but we decided to do multiple items this week. So maybe next month we'll see what happens with it. Never say never. Absolutely.
But I want real quick. One more thing about the Toby. And here's a really good thing about it. As we get more systems, landing areas and such, and places to look at, this is one of the things I felt that was really cool about the Toby when I first got it. I got out of my ship. I was in a landing zone like an R Corp or Lorville, and I found myself looking at things that I was not accustomed to looking at, and I'm looking around. And I call it VR Lite because literally I'm doing this.
Yeah, you can look around.
It totally enhances the quality of the game and what the devs have really put into these locations. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
No, good point. Go ahead, Fastcart.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna make a bad joke. I'm gonna make a bad joke. Go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say, even when you're sitting in the chair in the cockpit, Kimmy, you're absolutely right. You can look around your ship. You can look up when you're in a freelance. There's something that you normally can't do is look up through the window that's above you. You can do things like that. You can look to the side and see the buttons. When I start my ship up now, I look over there instead of dragging my mouse over to drag the picture over. I just look over and I can click on it. So there are a lot of cool intuitive things that you will have to shift from because you're used to having to compensate because the game doesn't normally allow you to do that naturally. But when you have the Toby, you can. So it is much better to do. Okay, let's do one more giveaway and then we're going to do the SSD because we want to talk about webcams real quick because we're getting late in the hour here. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this giveaway. !HCS! !HCS! For HCS pack of your choice, voice pack of your choice. We're going to hit it in a couple seconds here. Give you guys about 5 seconds to type that in. ! HCS. ! HCX. Here we go. All right. On the count of 3, 2, 1, and boom.
Darkness Muta.
And Mad Style with another 500 bits.
You boss.
I'm gonna tell y'all gonna have to buy a beer from Mad Style at CitizenCon because he's providing us to buy all this stuff. He's the one who's providing all this stuff for us to buy for you guys. So thank you, Mad Style, for the 500 bits and congratulations to Darkness Muta. Please contact Fastcart, send him a message letting him know which HCS voice pack you want and your email address so we can communicate with you to get that to you. What are you going to say, FC?
Just to let people know, Unimatrix 8 has already gotten back to me. Eldoc has gotten back to me. I'm assuming Ops Chief is going to contact you personally because he knows that, but he knows you. Parapox owner said that he wants to reroll, so that they have an extra one if you want to reroll that one, or you can just save it for another day.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll save it for another time then. Thank you for that. Eber Citizens, some of our camera crew, our Toby Trekker are in there filming. That level of freedom is truly amazing. Awesome. Zylo, thank you for the follow. Good to see you again as always.
Hey, Zylo, thank you.
Zylo popped onto our 890 yesterday when we were at the race. He stood there for a while and watched out of our window for a little while.
Place, man.
But it's good to have you here, Zylo. Okay. All right. So let's cover this last thing on webcams and talk about the importance of webcams, and then we'll do our final giveaway, which will be an SSD, 500 gig SSD. To someone tonight.
Incredible.
Admiral Kusanagi says, so a little FYI, the new helmet for the F-35 allows you to use the cameras that are around the front of the plane. That allows the pilot to see everything around. Oh, wow. Didn't know that about the F-35.
Wow,
For those of y'all who follow your aviation, there you go.
Yeah, in Texas,
All
F-35.
right,
I
there
had a
you
friend
go.
who worked on that.
All righty. All right, let's jump into this, guys, because we don't have it on the list, but let's talk about webcams real quick. Fastcart, what are you using for a webcam? Let me ask you that real quick.
I'm using an OG.
An OG?
Old people. I'm using a Logitech C910, not the 920, the C910, the one came before it. And I bought it in probably maybe 2011.
Okay.
And it's been lasting me all this time.
It's faithful.
And it still works. I mean, I still look pretty good. I mean, for me personally, I'm getting older, but it still makes me look, crisp and clear. So I can't really complain. And I mean, my next one will probably be like the 4K or a higher version, but I don't really see a need to upgrade. So it still works. It does everything. So I don't see a need to upgrade. C910.
That's good to know. I was going to blame your camera, but now that you told me it's not your camera, I know it's you now. So that's fine. It works out great. Okay. Kimmy, how about you? What are you using for a camera now?
I'm using the Logitech. What is that? Brio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Okay, the Brio. Okay, nice.
Yes.
Now, the Brio is like their granddaddy camera. That's like their good one.
Yeah,
They're really
the
nice
4K
one, right? Yep.
version.
Yep. Now I want to talk about this because it's interesting. I'm in the middle. I'm with the 920C or whatever one it is, and they're in the middle, right? And all these cameras, if you guys look at our camera quality, it's fairly decent. Kimmy, you could tell he's got probably a little bit more edge on the HD side, but our cameras are pretty decent. But this is something that happened, and I think most of you guys know this, that when COVID kicked in, the demand for webcams went out the roof because people all of a sudden now have got to start doing Zoom and Microsoft. I mean, all this stuff is going on, right? And I remember my 920, which I could catch on sale for $59, $69 from time to time, shot up to $200. Kimmy's Brio went as high as $400 to $500.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden these cameras went ridiculously high. Now, why do you need a camera why do you need a camera for Star Citizen? For those of you who know and take advantage of it, it's for the FOIP that is in the game. Some of you guys have used the face recognition where and you guys saw it in the demonstration at CitizenCon where your character now can be, when your friends look at you, they can see your mouth move, they can see your eyes blink, they can see facial expressions. And they've been working on this tech and making it better and better so that even when you're using your comms and you call someone up on your ship, when their face pops up and they're speaking to you, you would be able to see the mouth movement and the facial expressions and all that stuff. So FOIP, for those of us who remember a few years back, CIG had talked about making a camera specific that you could buy to get FOIP. And then next thing you know, they turned into building it into the software itself so that you could use it with any webcam, right? So, look at what happened. Now we're at the point now where you can just have a regular webcam and be able to take advantage of the FOIP. But you got to have a webcam, gang, in order to utilize it. But it's a great tool, and it's another level, as Kimmy mentioned the word, immersion, another level of immersion in the game, right, that people can get into.
These poor drinking game players.
I know.
They're going to need a new liver by the time this show is over.
I know. All right, so here, let me bring up one quick item here that I think for those of you who've been around for a while, you guys might remember this item. We're going to do our final giveaway after I show you guys this. So just give me one hot second.
While I was doing that, I just want to say, the reason I would upgrade my camera is to have better frames, because, like I can do all this and my hand would look okay, but, Kimmy is much smoother, so that's one reason why I would get a Brio and if I upgrade from this.
The Brio will give you the 60 frames, but also it has zoom. I actually went and picked up another camera because I wanted to actually have a camera honed in on my dual sticks. At some point, I'm going to do it again, but I realized a lot of those cameras do not have zoom effects in them. Mm-hmm. So you want to be aware of that and then know what you want out of these cameras as far as that, some are limited to 30 frames.
Yes.
Do you need 60 frames? Do you need zoom capabilities? So that was one of the things I learned. it's much. And I said, let me grab it. And it's like, wait a minute, it's not doing the same thing like the Brio.
Absolutely. And that is a feature for some people. If you don't want to have to keep doing this, reaching up and moving your camera to get the right height, a lot of them will have software that allows you to zoom out, zoom in, pan left, pan right. You can
cock your face.
Yeah, face focus, color correction, all types of things. So it's basically how much money do you want to spend? As Fastcart mentioned earlier, the prices are still way above where they were before. And last year, through most of the year, you couldn't even get these cameras. You had to buy some third-party camera. I've actually found one that ran like $35 that I bought for my mom's house that was amazing, but it's great for like just doing basic teleconferencing.
Yeah,
but beyond that, that's it.
A laptop just so they can have a camera because they couldn't find a camera.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
That is
$1,500 camera.
That is crazy. Wow. There was one item that we forgot about, guys, and please forgive me for being old and forgetful here, but we didn't talk about the ultimate piece of a peripheral that people can get for their computer. Now, mind you, none of us have this as far as I know of, but for those of you who are really hardcore, and you guys know we've seen people who are hardcore, a sim pit is the final level that people will move to. This one here is sold on Amazon. It runs for $800. Obviously, it's not with the screens or anything like that, but you get the idea. Being able to be fully immersed. There's a 3-panel system there for a keyboard and all types of other cool stuff. Of course, a chair. Fastcart, I know you don't ever want to leave your chair because you've told me how long you've had your chair, so I know you're not ready to move into something like this.
Well, the thing is, I don't really need one because I have my cart, and that's a sim pit in itself.
This is true. Kimmy, do you think you'd ever move to a sim pit, or are you kind of cool where you are?
I'm going to say this. None of us here in chat, on the panel, are in any position to lay judgment on this, because let me say this, and I'm speaking for everybody when I say this. I did not expect Star Citizen to have me turned out doing things the way I'm doing in regards to enhancing myself with this game and getting this, getting that. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? So I am not going to pass judgment. Okay, when I say
never say never, huh? Never say never.
This thing has got me turned out doing some crazy stuff, and I'm talking for all y'all out there too, because you're in there too. And if you haven't done it, you wish you're going to do it, or you planning to do it.
Well, you see who says they're not doing it.
This game has did things to us that we don't even really want to talk about.
Well, Kimmy, look who says they're not doing it in chat. You already know who says never. Look who's saying never.
No, my question is for Kimmy. At what tier level were you that made you say that? Because it wasn't at the concierge. It had to be a higher tier level than concierge. What level did you say that?
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys get the point. We just want you to know that they're the peripherals, and to Kimmy's point, people can go to all these different levels, and I agree with you, Kimmy. I know I had a certain dollar amount that I thought I would spend, and I'm past that. I'm like double that amount. I honestly never thought I'd
word for you,
would do
Griff.
there. Mm-hmm.
Origin.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
Where's that? Give me.
Somebody said here that when their stimulus check comes in, that's what direction they're going to go. We wouldn't recommend that, but we just want to show you that these are the different tools again for immersion that you guys can go into. I told you I wanted to show you one more thing here that would kind of fry your brain, and for those of you who remember this, I'm gonna. For a peripheral for Star Citizen. Let's see how many of you guys remember this little baby here. How many of you remember that thing?
That was when they were in Britain, man. Remember British when they did the BritCon in the UK?
Do you guys remember that?
And Chris had it in the glass.
All right.
The Concorde ship.
Yeah, I know. Dark Knight. Thank you. 500 bits.
I do like the color scheme. I don't know if I would. It would have depended on the price if I would have gotten one, but I do remember that.
But this was the high end one because they didn't. They didn't have an actual built prototype of the high end, which was this one. They just showed like a throttle and stick combo under the glass. That was in real person.
No.
The other one was in concept.
No.
In concept. It stayed in concept.
No, Kimmy. Hang on a second. No,
people are saying too soon.
I know. No, Kimmy. Believe it or not, they had this in that case. The whole they had all the pieces. Yeah, believe it or not, because
Yeah,
the OLED,
Yeah,
dude, it
I
was.
saw it.
And here's the kicker: it wasn't a working prototype. You know what I mean? It was probably just the physical plastic
the
and
prop,
everything that looked
yeah.
at the prop. You know what I mean? But here's the kicker about this thing. It was supposed to have the joystick. It had the keyboard. And this stuff was detachable. It was modular. That was the thing that was really interesting about it. And it had this OLED screen. I remember this is back when the X52 might have came out. That was about the furthest they were with sticks, I think. But anyway, this was 2016, right? Was it 2016?
No, 2016.
Something like that.
2015.
No, 2015. It was the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we weren't there that year. I think this was the year when it was someplace
This is in
else.
UK.
It was in UK. Okay, it was in the UK.
No, 2016 is LA.
Right. So it must have been either 2015 or 17. I can't remember which one.
15.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny's probably right. 15. So anyway, I just wanted to show that it's kind of a we remember when kind of picture. But at one point, for those of you who are in chat who weren't around, CIG was actually working with who was it? Which manufacturer was doing this? Scitech. And they were going to produce a quote unquote Star Citizen kind of endorsed system that we would be able to use. So I just wanted to throw that up for memory's sake for those of you who might remember that particular item.
It's stuff like this, but people say this is all vaporware, it's scam Citizen. The stuff like that is the reason.
Yep. Well, I know one thing.
Soundtech went out of business.
I bet you one thing, if they put that sucker up for bid, there'd be people that would pay for that sucker just to have it in their collection.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do our final giveaway for the night, which is going to be for a Samsung 500 gigabyte SSD. For those of you who are into that, let me put in what you need to type in. Give me one hot second here, because I had to change my screens again.
Yeah, I'm throwing a 2 terabyte one. You're not gonna win this one. This is mine, but you're gonna get a 500 gigabyte one.
Yeah, don't be giving no false advertising up there.
Disclaimer.
Alrighty, all right. So, all right, exclamation point SSD, exclamation point SSD. If you are interested in getting a 500 gigabyte Samsung, 500 gigabyte Samsung SSD, we're gonna give that away. And again, we appreciate you guys being here today. Let me, while you guys are punching that in, let you guys know that we are going to be taking off the next 2 weeks. We will not be back until the first week in February. We're taking a break. This is our 45th episode of Soul. So we started March 1st of 2020, and so we're taking the next couple weeks off. We're getting regrouped. We got some new shows, new ideas coming up. We might even have some new cast members. I haven't said anything about that might be joining us, and so you might see some new faces along with the old face. Well, you know, here are the 3 old faces. I don't think Gigi's not an old face. I don't know if I'll call her in that category, but you know, here are the old faces here. But thank you guys for the congratulations on 45 shows. Yeah, we're going to take a couple weeks off though to get a break. Also, as you guys know, CIG has been on break the last few weeks, and so we're just taking a little breather. But they're going to be starting back with the next couple weeks, and by then we'll have some great content to share with you guys. And then again,
22nd.
Yeah, and then also Friday Night Live will be starting back in February as well, because we've been on hiatus from that as well. Just because you guys know that show's based around Inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live, and since that's been quiet, we haven't been doing it on Fridays. That's the only reason why you haven't seen it. So anyway, exclamation point SSD. We're going to go ahead and punch that one out to a lucky winner. So if you guys want to get in it, going to give you about 10 seconds on that. Exclamation point SSD. 500 gigabyte Samsung drive, getting ready to go out. Going once, going twice, sold, and here's the countdown. 3, 2, and 1. Boom. Jajad. Whoa, Jajad.
Wow.
All righty,
Awesome.
Jajad.
Congrats.
Jajad, congratulations. Thank you for those of you who have contributed to make that happen, for our wonderful people who've been following us. You guys are so great, and appreciate you guys being here with us now. It's kind of a long show tonight. Mad Style. Oh my
Mad
God.
Styles, you are a boss,
Thank
man.
you.
2,000 bits, dude. We're gonna buy you 2 beers at CitizenCon. 2 beers, all right.
A virtual or a real hug.
Make sure you're at CitizenCon. Yeah.
Before you wrap up, Griffin, do you want to tell Jajad what he has to do different to contact you?
Nothing.
Contact me for this one.
No, nothing different. No, I do want him to do the exact same thing. Jajad, if you would contact fastcart. And again, you can also please do send to soulcitizens@gmail.com. give us information regarding where you want it to be shipped out to or mailed to. I might do it a little bit differently. I might just give you an Amazon gift card and you can just buy it. That might be the easier thing to do too for you. And that way you can just get it that way and you can ship it yourself. But congratulations again. And to everybody who's been here with us tonight. Boy, 2 hours and 35 minutes covering all this good stuff, but it was a good conversation tonight. Go ahead, Kimmy.
Griff, you mentioned Friday Night Live, but tell chat, what's the premise? What is it about? Is it
sure
just like this show?
Yeah,
but give them a little insight.
Friday Night Live, guys, for those of you who haven't been to Friday Night Live for us, it's kind of like our spin on Saturday Night Live, obviously. But Friday Night Live is a live talk show where you get to come on the show and be a part of the show. When you come on Sundays, you get to listen to us blab all afternoon, and that's great. But on Friday night, we bring out the topics such as Inside Star Citizen Live, and what's going on in the community. And then you guys get to come on the show into our Discord and basically be a guest on our show and share your thoughts and feelings, comments about Star Citizen. We have great people like Admiral Kusanagi, who's been on. Several of you guys have been on the show before and come on and hung out with us through the night. We have really great conversations, but it's much more of an interactive show. It's kind of, think of back in the old days of like the old radio show where people would call into a disc jockey and talk to them. That's exactly what you guys, open mic. That's a good way to put it, Kimmy. You guys get to come on the mic with us and tell us what you like, don't like about Star Citizen, what could be better, what could be improved. It's just our time to talk as community.
Hear your voice.
Absolutely. So Friday nights, that's usually at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, so 10:30 Central, 8:30 p.m. on the Pacific, and that's usually about an hour and a half. But it's a great talk show time. And then of course, our Sunday show, again, the next 2 weeks, don't forget, we won't be on, but we'll be back in February with both shows starting the first week in February. Fastcart, what were you going to say?
I just want to say thanks for everyone for your support. It's been lovely since we started back in March. It's the first week of March, and we've been going almost nonstop. Thank you, Griffin. Thank you, Kimmy, for always being on and putting so much work into this show. And I just want to say, ask people, if you want to support us, we do sell merchandise. We have a Soul Citizen shirt, you got a mug and a mouse pad. Check the link below for that. Also, you can check out our social media link. We've got Twitter, Instagram. Also, you can listen to us on Soundcloud for the audio only podcast. We have a YouTube channel also. Check us out there. So
yes,
we have a whole bunch of people. You can check us out. Help support us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, I guess the old term that we don't say enough is like and subscribe. That's what we would love to see you guys do. And of course, you can check out stuff. We also do this thing where we have like our little funny clips that are crazy stuff that we say on the show. So feel free to visit our YouTube page to see some of that. All right, let's see who we're going to invade tonight. Who can we invade? Let's see. We've got Carbon Tail. Maybe we'll do Carbon Tails tonight. Yeah, let's do.
Oh, they're heavy
Carbon Tails.
You got Uber Nerd.
Yeah, we hit Uber Nerd last week. Let's do Carbon Tail. We haven't done them in a while. You guys feel free to talk while I'm typing, please.
Oh, thanks for everyone. See you on February 5th for Friday Night Live. See you in the first week for February for Soul Citizen. Hope to see you guys, and peace, love, and soul.
Nah, that's too soon. I'm still typing. Tell them where they can find you. Kimmy, where can they find you?
I'm here. I'm lurking around Twitch, everyone. And then just as it's typed beneath me, Kimmy65, Twitch TV, you'll find me there. Come on, hang out. Doing gameplay, talking lore, talking gameplay peripherals, whatever you want to talk about. Just hang out. Come on, let's do it.
Fastcart, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter, on twitter.com/fastcart. I'm on the Base Radio on Tuesday with Miss Hart, and that's 80s show. I have a Flighty Rhythm segment. We play R&B songs from the 80s. Find me here. Discord. Also on Table of Horrors on Twitch.tv. You can find me there on, we put that schedule. It used to be Fridays and Saturdays, now it's Wednesday. We have Vampire the Masquerade Tabletop.
Also, you guys can see Fastcart and occasionally, Fastcart on Relay. And just so you guys will know, Relay just took a break and they just came back with a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. They used to be in the afternoon, so they just recently changed their time. So check them out as well. There's some good friends of ours as well. Other than that, that's it. We, again, like Fastcart says, thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate all your support. We are going to jump to Carbon Tales. And I don't know why the raid thing's acting crazy. Nah.
There it goes.
Nah, the raid thing was acting goofy. All right, but we're going to rate them. You guys say hi to Carbon Tales and them. Follow them. They're good folks, fun folks. They always a couple. They're always doing great stuff in Star Citizen. And send them some love. And as Fastcart already says, we miss you guys. We love you guys already. Even though it's going to be 2 weeks, we'll see you in February. Peace, love, and soul. You guys take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there.
This is the way.